Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Just take a lively companion wherever you go. Take a portable radio. Take a portable radio.
Well, here comes the music.
Here comes the music, and we've already. I feel like we're ahead of time at this point because we've already saved so much
I
time.
know, we saved these 7 minutes.
Just because. Well, we might as well get the breaking news segment out of the way almost as soon as possible because last week.
Otherwise, it'll be old news.
Well, yeah, sure will. We don't want that. If you joined us last week, you know that there was quite an extensive conversation focused mainly from this side of the table about all of the time wasted to get up to go to the kitchen to get wine or beverages or whatnot, right?
Exactly.
There's now a refrigerator in the studio. It's right here, right off of Al. Yeah, right off of Al's
Right off of Al.
left. Right off of Al's left arm there. But we
It's on the corner of Al and over there.
Yeah.
well, but
And straight through till morning.
I ran extra wiring to make sure it was on a separate circuit because I don't want to have an electrical issue. So this is running off of something on the west end of my house. But
I
it's
wondered
all right.
if we plugged it in at the neighbors.
Yeah, no. The nice thing is I actually wound up taking some electrical load off of this room because now these things all in this corner run off of another circuit, but it all works.
So now if you leave the bathroom light on, only that half will.
Now, I felt that because it was a momentous occasion to get the refrigerator for you, so we're going to save time and makes the whole thing better.
Yes.
I named the refrigerator. I named it, and it's somebody that we haven't lost, but we don't see often enough.
Free to the fridge.
We don't. So
Fernando the
it
fridge.
is it's the Val Perkins Memorial Refrigerator.
The memorial is silent.
It always is, yeah, and often chilly.
Oh my god.
So if you have met Val,
Yeah.
You know what?
Oh, I like it.
I'm
so
so
cute.
excited that the memorial is going to carry on.
Oh, it should.
Because I also have breaking news.
Oh gosh, my God, do tell.
But where's the music?
I
Where's
don't.
the music?
I didn't have
we
music
don't
for
know.
me.
We didn't have anything ready. Well, you know, it's just been
It's
decided.
breaking.
and this
It's
is
breaking so fast.
this is the first public announcement of this information. I know. I know. The 3 people that are listening, you're welcome. You're going to be the first to be in the know.
There you go. There you go. Nice.
Gotcha.
The Cat Carlson Memorial VIP Lounge will be rebranded this year
Uh-oh.
as Club Cat Carlson,
Oh, Club Cat.
which is
Oh,
very
that's
fun.
exciting.
Now, the best part of that is I already have the logo design because I'm just going to rip off Calvin Klein.
Oh,
Oh.
good.
Oh, I mean, you already do it with Obsession.
So I feel like, right, we've already done that. So I feel like the benchmark for winning is going to be a cease and desist letter. Like, That's going to be the benchmark for winning. When I receive that letter, I'm going
Okay.
to throw my hands up in the air and go, "We won, kids. It's
Got it.
over. We won."
Because
We
getting
won."
the acknowledgement is really what
Right.
it's all about.
Getting
Because
the
then it makes
recognition.
national news. It becomes
Right.
it's on Colbert. It's everywhere. You get your
Right.
yeah. You get
All
your
of a sudden,
ups.
who does she think she is?
right.
Cat Carlson.
Who does this
Yeah.
girl
It's
It's
think
like
she is?
Titus what's his name?
Titus Andromedon.
Andromedon. When he gets the cease and desist from the Lion King people.
Yes.
That's fair. And he hands him the cat.
Yeah. So that
Just
is
the best. Takes the paper, hands him the cat.
perfect.
Marty, you look
Yes.
very confused. I don't know why.
Well, I'm not sure. Did something happen to Amina? Or is this just a conversation?
She's on an episode of Cops.
No, she's been being harassed by someone in her neighborhood
Oh,
who
no.
knows where
Where she lives?
she lives. And
Oh.
it's one of those sad situations where the cops are like, well, it's not a crime until,
Oh, yeah.
Until
you
it
get
When they
escalates.
yeah, once they
into
kill
a
you,
crime.
that, yeah.
we'll talk to you when they
Yeah,
kill
well,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just an awful situation, and so common for them
Sure.
to be like, well, no crime's been
Well,
committed.
like she's
And
come back when you're hurt.
I would
Yeah.
I would assume probably more common there, but even with domestic violence. I
Oh,
mean,
and domestic
here,
violence here, that's
it's
a very common thing.
All the
It's-
time, yeah.
all
Like,
the
I
time.
can't
You're
do
making
anything.
you're making the
Occasionally, violence
statement,
against domestics
Yeah.
also can happen.
short hair cats.
What was her name?
Who? Where?
Oh. what?
Leona Helmsley.
Oh. Oh no, her. You mean her maids?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's the
Exactly.
domestic side.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the domestics you're thinking of.
Got it.
Stupid.
We don't play.
Oh.
Taxes are for the little
Fantastic.
people.
The
I guess
little
we all
ones.
think of domestics as different things.
different things.
Yeah.
I went
Correct.
Karen Walker on you.
by-
Yes, you
He
sure
went
did.
cats.
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh.
Domestic short hair. That's what I said.
Oh, I was thinking beer.
Oh, no.
No, I don't know.
You're
I just
thinking, you're
no
thinking
idea.
Bud Light. She's
no.
thinking cats.
I was
he's thinking
thinking.
maids.
I was thinking maids and butlers, but I mean, you can throw domestic under the for so many
Absolutely.
things.
Well, it could be a maid with short hair that has.
Has
I'm gonna leave it
cats?
alone.
It
That, I'm leaving it alone.
Okay.
Feels like you're reaching.
Did you see the sign,
Maybe
Mark?
you don't know.
Did you see the signs? The network has changed. So log
Oh,
your
I see.
log your phone and laptop into. I just wanted to make sure you're on board.
I
'cause-
was
Thank
lying,
you.
but
I don't
now
want you.
I
I don't
see.
want
I
you. To,
noticed my Wi-Fi signal was like no.
right.
No.
But I don't want you to
Not.
be mad. You think it's
No.
nothing's working. It's
Because you know that.
yeah.
I will.
You'll go from 0 to 60 in 2.2.
Yep, I sure would. Thank you.
We're saying hello to Mike on the YouTubes.
Hi, Mike.
Oh my gosh, Mike! So hi, Mama Di as well in the old chat
Hi,
room.
Mama Di.
Who all is in there? How many people are watching on the old YouTubes, or is there just the chat room you see?
I
in?
mean, it's lovely to see your face. I'm
Somewhere-
so sorry
somewhere
your
it's a-
name, but
Well, I
love
guess-
Somewhere it says how many are watching.
Well, I have analytics over here. I could probably look that up myself.
Several.
I'm sorry
Oh,
that's
look.
happening, Miss. You know.
But I didn't wait till 90 minutes into the show to hear someone be like, "Hello, can you hear
Oh, we
me?"
have 4 concurrent viewers. Look at that.
Look at that.
That exciting for all 4 of you.
And one of them's your mom.
Right, mom's mom. So
I'm intrigued. I didn't have to put a password in. It
That's
just
because
went
it
to
said share password with Marnie, and I said, "Oh yeah, do it." Oh yeah.
the apple. It's the Kool-Aid.
It's the
Do it
apple.
to your phone too, would you? Just to be sure.
I think I will. I
Oh, I
will.
don't want everything to be on
Freaking
it.
me
Very
out.
exciting.
Everything. My gosh. Well,
Oh yeah,
freaking
drinking
me
the Kool-Aid takes a lot.
it's
But
sometimes.
it's refrigerated right here now for your convenience.
There's also a thermometer in the refrigerator, so we can monitor temperature. I made sure yesterday. I pulled it out of storage and I bleached the inside and cleaned to make sure everything was fine.
That's very
Plugged it
considerate.
in. Now, granted, now, Mom, I was texting yesterday. This is actually.
Does any of that surprise you?
This is no.
It's fantastic that you.
Well, I
did.
want to make sure it's clean.
No, I know, but
Hygienic here in the studio.
Clean and sanitize for your
So
protection. No, I
this is
understand.
the refrigerator I had told you Mom kept in her office. Before she retired, that was her.
Sure.
She kept. Well, it has been plugged in
snacks.
into 2 years. Came on perfectly, ran, cooled right down.
that's a
Common,
nice.
like-
That's a nice refrigerator.
I like that
It
your
is.
mom retired and I got a gift. That works out.
Took 2 years.
Perfectly,
Took
yeah.
2 years to get it to you.
Nothing wrong with that.
So
Shipping and
Some
handling.
shipping required. Yeah.
It can be so expensive.
And remember to
But-
ship the head separately because that's the heaviest part.
So
Sure.
what can we tell the listeners what is the temperature in the fridge right now?
Oh, right now I believe it's 36.
Woo,
I think it's 30. Stand by.
brisk.
Let me go live to the refrigerator.
Live?
Live from the refrigerator.
Coming to you live from the refrigerator. Our senior
Actually, we're
correspondent
30
for temperature.
38. We're
38.
Nice.
Now in here are listen for people who can't see. Well, you can't see it anyway, even if you're watching. I've moved Cat's
Like
beer.
the Weather Channel from the corner.
Yeah, it's over
It's
here.
a brisk 38 degrees.
Yes. Oh, I forgot. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take I've got a picture of it saved in my phone. I'll put it up there so people can enjoy it because I want them to see the memorial refrigerator.
Yeah.
So I moved everything from the big
So it's
refrigerator.
the Val Perkins Memorial Refrigerator.
Yes.
Can we see the thing again?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
just
right
in
there on
case,
the
sure.
refrigerator door.
Well, I
yeah,
can't see that far.
but Rail, this is the little placard I made because I happen
I
to.
love this.
I do too.
I can't
Yeah.
tell you how much I love this.
stuff.
Because I'm
Gotcha.
thinking about just changing my name to Val.
Everybody would
Well,
be
if
so
you'd
much more
like.
understanding.
I have a laminator. I,
mean,
can
for
make you a badge.
It would
Oh.
answer so many different questions at the same
I could
time.
make you a badge that just says
Yeah.
that. It would be nice.
I like that. It's good.
Could I? I could do one for all of us. I mean, we all don't want to be Val.
Well, no,
I'd
but
prefer to not,
people
no,
would. They
honestly.
would.
Val's a hard
read
no to
that.
take.
That would
They
be
would look up, they
confusing.
go, oh, it makes such better sense.
yeah.
Yeah, oh, it's Val. Yeah.
Val.
That makes
We've
sense.
we've heard Al. We thought it was a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won't know. I mean, it'll be.
Have you
exciting
actually
for them.
ever had people walk up to the floor, but I'm looking for Val? Have they actually said that, or is it just on the phone?
No.
Okay. Well, I thought maybe somebody had called and been like,
That'd be fantastic.
they're coming up to the pod to see their family
they're
member,
really
they're
angry.
looking for Val. And when they get there, we'd like to thank Val. Is she around? Oh, you just
where's
missed
that
her.
gal?
You know, I should look through like
She's
thank you notes and stuff and see if Val has ever
Val's
been
been
a fan.
mentioned. You should get credit for all of Val's good work.
Yeah.
Where's
real.
Val? She's down
It'd
at
be funny
Chinese
to have
getting
this-
drunk.
She's
Trust
my
me, this one's
twin.
me. I'm the only Val.
Close.
There used to be a Val in respiratory, but she's gone. I think.
Oh, fuck her and
or just
respiratory.
missing, and somebody should really go looking for her.
Oh my gosh. Yes, look at that. Oh, you're welcome, Mom. Messages from Mom as she sits on her couch and watches us enjoy her refrigerator. My heavens.
That's lovely. I'm very
Oh,
excited
and
about
Mike
it.
is sitting in a hotel room with the Rachel Maddow show in one ear
Oh.
and you guys in the
Oh.
other.
I
Well, that's a
Fantastic.
fair use of your ears.
God, oh, that's a fair use of a lot of things. If I could be Mike,
Time well spent.
I think
Time well spent.
I may like you, Mike, if you're listening to us and him at the same time. I love it. Just absolutely. I tag them in a lot of things. Give them a big props up today. That first A block yesterday, that 20 minutes. I don't know if anybody else watched Rachel yesterday, but that, and I posted it on Facebook, shared it with people, but that A block was amazing. Her story of four stories that all rolled into one as to part of why there was a visitor in the White House today.
I
Why-
did not see it.
Oh dear God.
I'm not
It's a follow the money thing
Yeah.
about how all of these things come together, and it winds. Short story is that short of the story is that corrupt money surprisingly has funneled into 45.
What?
The area from which this money came from is Kazakhstan.
Okay.
And when the dictator of Kazakhstan took over that, and all of the books and all the other the documents from the previous government that documented all of this money laundering that was happening.
Right.
Well, the dictator of the country has it, who could maybe make it all disappear.
Sure.
Who's in the White House today visiting Trump but that person?
Well, that's weird.
It's just so weird.
You know, it's a
a
goddamn
coincidence.
coincidence, is what it is.
Coincidence.
oh,
You know, that is not.
but
no.
that story she starts
Fake news.
she starts with chromium is the first thing that it talks about, chrome, which makes chrome everything, and it just whittles through this whole thing of lies and deceit. I was expecting Keith Morrison to show up at any time.
Was it Donald Trump?
Is it a dumpster fire?
Fire?
Right, but oh my god, it's fantastic. I was on it. So
Wow.
looking forward to tonight because Splotchy he testified today, so I'm pretty sure he just got out.
Liver spots.
Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah, because he's not an alcoholic. Though.
but yeah, no,
That'd be Sloppy Steve.
yeah,
Sloppy Steve Bannon.
hottest guy in the liquor store.
Shithole of a human.
Yes,
For real.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
So he just testified
He's
today, so I'm
something, that
curious
one.
to hear what everything comes
But
up
I
about
did
that.
note.
What was he-
I did see one thing about that, and he was walking through the metal detector,
That was early when he got there.
and it looked like he had actually.
Oh, he was cleaned up. His hair
clean
was even
shaven.
done. He looked better than
like
Bill
it.
Murray on SNL. Like he was really put together.
Wow.
I thought, huh?
No,
So what dog
but-
groomer did he
But
go
every time
to?
someone's in a room with him, I think, put on gloves. Parts of him are falling off.
You don't know. You're right.
Like a
Yeah,
leopard.
like there's things just falling off of him.
The
agree.
well, the thing he did was he checked in this morning hours prior to everybody else being there, and I guess in an attempt to miss all of the media because there were only a couple cameras even there that caught him coming in, and he was then sequestered into another room where nobody could get to him, so nobody had a chance to ask him any questions.
sure.
He gives his testimony. They came out for a break while he was in his testimony from the congressional, whatever they call those people, the congressional,
people.
whatever they are.
Persons.
That's when he walked,
Senators?
and they're in there, and when he walks out, then he finds out he's been subpoenaed by Mueller.
Okay.
Oh, it was just a crazy thing
Oh,
going
I
on
like
today.
it. I like it.
Yeah.
So he
all
was
that.
testifying in closed session then?
Yes.
No.
closed session, came out. What's this? We have a gift for you, sir. Here, you've been served.
What a great way to serve somebody.
By the way, go back in there and talk all you want because you're going to come talk to. I love that because apparently he also was coached, according to what they were saying earlier on. Chris Hayes, very well coached by the White House as to what he could not talk about because they're trying to pull that whole bullshit thing that the little Keebler elf did, where he was trying to invoke executive privilege, but there isn't one, and nobody else has invoked it that can.
That's attorney-client privilege because my attorney was in the room.
Yeah,
kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
So that's what Bannon was trying to pull off was he can't say anything because of no. Nobody else has said executive privilege, and you can't invoke it.
And he doesn't work there anymore.
Right. Well, there's
Also-
that too.
Yeah.
So anyway,
He's not even an executive at Breitbart. He needs to shut up.
so now he's subpoenaed. So that's
I
one.
hate
That's a
him.
good thing.
God, they're gross.
So much going
Very
on.
busy.
Yes. So anyway,
Busy.
if you can look at my Facebook, find it, or
Sure.
go on rachelmaddow.com or MSNBC and find the
Oh, I'm
first.
sure we have it from. It's yesterday.
It's yesterday's, right?
Yeah, I'm sure
It's
we still have that at the
her
house.
A block from the 15th of January. Fantastic.
Yep.
I love when she tells stories. Anywho,
know,
what? Just now we've heard the breaking news of the refrigerator. We
It's
got that out of the
fantastic.
way.
Thank you for that.
Do we talk about the sadness that you're experiencing right now electronically,
no.
Kat?
I
no.
am
Uh-oh.
handicapped.
This is part
Honestly,
of
I'm
this is
handicapped right now.
this
Do
is
we have parking?
this is part.
I could have a parking spot.
Wait, but
Oh,
what's
now
happening?
calm down.
Wait. What? Well, you cannot have mine. It's the only
Well-
perk I have.
And this is part of what have
Kids.
you done this past week? So
As we know, my lovely Microsoft Surface, I greatly enjoy. Very much. You know, I take it everywhere with me.
We've all kind of
I talk
enjoyed
to it
it,
at
yeah.
night.
it's your
Right.
friend.
Yeah.
It's your friend.
It's a friend of mine.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Well, sadly this week, and just kind of a freak, like I didn't drop it. I didn't, like, nothing bad happened to it. It was fine. I put it in my backpack. I took it home. I took it out of the backpack. Devastated. There's a big crack all the way across it.
Does it affect how you can make pictures?
Yes.
Oh, horribly.
Horribly.
Really?
The story doesn't get better.
No, no.
Oh,
Because the crack,
God bless
I thought it was dead entirely and was panicking.
Of
I was
course.
in a full-on panic, like running around my house screaming, like, what am I gonna do? Like arms
You,
waving. in the
Alexa
air.
can't even help you
understand.
with that.
A
Alexa
dramatic
couldn't-
reenactment. I wasn't expecting that.
Flailing hands.
Flailing hands, screaming, crying, running around my house.
right.
Because when you crack the screen on a touchscreen device, sometimes
Guess what doesn't
it
work?
affects something called the digitizer, which is a thing that takes your
Sounds very serious.
takes your touch and turns it into digital signal and makes it so that the touch screen works.
Of course.
Witchcraft.
So with the crack being all the way through the screen, it thought it was being like touched 100 times. Like it so many times it couldn't even show you on the doll how many times. It was
Oh.
cracked. It was just,
I can only
like there
imagine.
just aren't dolls big enough for how many times it was imagining touches.
I can't even.
If I
imagine.
had a nickel.
It's terrible.
And I thought it was going to be unusable entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Terrible.
you're right. So I was devastated. I took it to see a specialist
Yeah.
at the Microsoft store, of course.
Yeah.
The specialist told me, yeah, that thing that's like 3 generations ago, we don't even fix them anymore.
I misunderstood what you said. I was under the impression they don't fix them at all. You're saying
honey.
they won't fix it because of its age.
Correct. Yes,
Got
they
it.
do
My
fix.
bad.
They do fix devices.
Got
You
it.
need to put a faucet in
Oh.
here, Clayton.
Oh,
Fuck. Now what?
Can we get a hose?
I can put a water bottle in this now if we need to.
Maybe a pitcher. Yeah.
Oh, for God's sakes! I give and give.
When will it ever be enough?
God damn! Are you gonna move in?
No. These are just for the 3 hours I spend here. I need all my needs met.
3 hours is a long time.
Oh my God! Okay, carry on.
In
my
any
dear.
event, so I'm dragging this out now at this point. So
It's enjoyable though.
I
Time to kill.
again devastated. I leave the Microsoft store just weeping, just crying. There's no hope. There's no help. Thank God for the internet. I found out you can actually disable the touch part of the laptop, so the computer part of the laptop will still work.
Oh, okay. And we'll start a GoFundMe for you to get a new Surface.
Wouldn't that be lovely?
Everybody
Yeah,
else
that'd
is doing them for all kinds of shit. We should.
Sure. Yeah, so I priced them out and I looked and I thought, well, let's not be hasty, because we really did just pour a whole bunch of money into the van.
And that worked out well.
And that hasn't solved the problem yet. No, I'm going to call them tomorrow because it's still kind of doing the same misfire thing that it was doing before they rebuilt the entire top half of the engine.
Oh, Jesus.
I know.
I'm still very suspect on their diagnosis,
It's-
but I don't
you know
want to
what it is?
stand in the line of. It's
what
too
the-
late now. I mean,
Right. Well, and what the fuck am I going to do? Go tear it apart myself? Who knows?
it was an
It-
option.
Mark my words, it's going to be a goddamn fuel filter And I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, a $35 fuel filter,
Right.
and we're done. Yeah.
I'm gonna be pissed
Gotcha.
after I put like $3,500 into
Right.
this thing, and then I'm gonna take it back, and he's gonna go, "Oh, well, the fuel filter's a little clogged. Let's try that."
I didn't see a lid.
Oh.
Look at that.
Look at
I
that.
thought maybe she was gonna put some plants in it. I didn't know what was happening with the mason jar full of water. Oh, it says,
If you're as giving as I am, it just comes back to you.
look at that! Look at that! Look at all the good you do, Val.
Val. Oh God.
Yeah. So my 2018 is just starting with all of the things around me. Just
What's the
breaking.
going rate right now for a Microsoft Surface? It's not a what is it? It's not a tablet. It's a what do you call it?
It's literally a Microsoft Surface Pro.
Okay.
I have the Pro 3. They made the Pro 4, and then decided that numbering wasn't actually their thing. So the newest one is literally just called the Surface Pro.
Okay.
And the going rate for a comparable model is like $700.
Oof.
I see.
Not a lot of money, but less than I just poured into the van.
Right, man.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Mercy.
Well. Huh. I feel for you. I understand electronic failures. I mean that's
happens.
half of my life is dealing with that.
So I'm
Or
debating
this
on,
show.
for real.
We haven't had a technical officially in a while.
No. Well, today's the day.
Yeah, there you
I'm trying to decide if I want to buy a replacement screen and try and repair it myself, because I've had successes in smaller, less expensive devices in replacing the screen.
Fair.
So we'll see. I don't know. The saga
Sure
will
seems like
continue.
a lot
Yeah.
with the digitization.
Oh, the digitizer.
Oh, the words I've learned.
digitizer.
It translates touch to points to clicks like a mouse.
Fantastic. Just even me trying to use that word.
Yeah.
Very
It's
upset.
fun.
I'm just
In
not
other
sure
news-
if I used it correct.
I now apparently fancy myself a mixologist.
Oh, I see.
I know. And so today's experimental cocktail is the breakfast martini.
All right.
Those of you that want to make a breakfast martini of your own,
And
take-
why would you not?
why
really?
not?
Why not?
It's breakfast time. You need a martini.
A girl's got needs.
2 problems, 1
That's it,
elegant
yeah.
solution.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
Bale can't
Here-
live on eggs
Here's your
alone.
recipe. Write it down.
Go ahead, please.
It's gin.
Yeah.
Say
Ew.
2
Ugh.
2 ounces. No. It's not awful.
No,
No.
Oh, I hate gin.
me too, but it was tasty.
You want to taste it?
No, thanks.
Well, you never know till you try. Anyway,
You're correct. But I'm
Take-
good.
But still.
take your gin. We'll say 2 ounces, maybe more.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you how to
2
live your
shots
life.
of gin.
Sure.
2 shots of gin. 1 half shot of triple sec. Half shot of lemon juice, preferably fresh squeezed, but you can use the bottle if you gotta. A teaspoon of orange marmalade.
Okay.
Shake it. Pour it into a glass. I like mine on some ice. I'm also.
I would prefer a little more shimmy. Can
You
you
like-
give
you
me a
like
little
more-
more
I'm not a
shaky,
shimmy kind of a girl.
shaky,
Shake.
shimmy, shaker?
However you get the job done.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Again, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wow!
But
But mix it well over ice. Make it cold. Put it in a glass.
Do I feel?
Delish. I
I noticed you've been doing a lot of these. Dare I call them craft cocktails the past several weeks.
That's what I've been calling
Are
them.
you doing them because it's more wintry and you're liking that rather than a beer for the summer months?
No, I'm mostly doing it for work purposes. So the bourbon that I was carrying around all through December.
Oh, didn't realize you were just carrying bourbon around with you at all times.
Oh yeah,
Under the seat.
that little bag that I come in with all the bottles and all the drink ingredients.
Yeah.
I carried that around with me everywhere. Like somebody invited me to lunch, brought it with. I said, "Hey, I'm making cocktails. Here, have some. Try some."
Okay.
And then after
McDonald's gets very angry when you do that, though.
yeah.
again, I'm
Need a
not going
couple
to tell you
seconds
how to
with the
live
shake
your life.
machine, Yeah.
But no, so that eventually translated into a cocktail that I've just started introducing at the bar called a bourbon smash.
Okay.
Yeah, that started out as kind of one thing and morphed after you drink some and you have some other people taste some and you talk about it a little bit.
Would you like to promote as a brand of booze you're promoting now? Is that what you're?
I mean, I don't work for any of these people, but
No, I don't know. Maybe this was somebody gave you a brand of booze and said we'd like you to craft a cocktail, and maybe now you're going to be a promoter for said brand.
no, but I'm super open to that. So if there are any brand executives listening,
What you
Sure,
call
of
it, the
course.
Kit Kat Club Memorial Bar thing is
Club-
going to
Club Cat
Yeah,
Carlson.
sure that.
it'll make more sense when
Kat
you
Club.
see the logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. We'll put it on the screen.
Well, clearly, yeah. No, I'll bring it next week.
And the other thing, as you're working as a bartender, there's some people, make me a drink. I don't know what I want. Make me a drink.
I want something. What's your favorite drink to make? Ugh. Honestly, it's Bud Light.
It's vodka tonic if I'm feeling it.
Have
But
you
I
ever
don't
done
like
that and just
beer.
grabbed a beer and
Yeah.
just opened it and
Oh,
set
I
it in front of
sure.
them?
Fuck.
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I have. What's your specialty? There you go.
You didn't even fucking
$3.
see it. I'm like a ninja. You didn't even fucking see that.
And that's buy one get one,
That's right.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
That's what
But
I'm
no, like I'm seeing like an environment at the bar and a clientele at the bar that will appreciate a more custom cocktail and will appreciate a cocktail menu. So I'm building one. So right now we're into gin because I don't have a lot of experience of gin.
Yeah, I'm just not
you know
a
what I
fan.
mean? I don't do a lot of gin drinking. I don't have a lot of like ideas and inspiration for gin. So I pulled some recipes off the internet and I said, well, I guess we're just gonna carry the
it.
bag of booze around and start
Yeah.
making them.
Like you
'Cause
do.
what
And
else
that,
are you
I
gonna
mean,
do?
that's
Like
li-
you do.
and
Yeah.
as someone who
I get
really
it.
does not like gin, that's very nice, and it has that light
Yeah.
quality and springy.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of gin, and I'm sure there would be more or less gin flavor depending on what you used. I used just New Amsterdam because it was inexpensive. Because I didn't realize how goddamn expensive gin was.
Real expensive, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
And
and the
a
original.
surprising twist.
Yeah, and the original recipe actually calls for Cointreau, which is really fucking expensive. That's like $30 for a bottle
Yeah.
this big.
You got to get it in Mexico, and they call it like Controy.
It's triple sec is what it is.
Yeah,
It is.
that's
It
all
is.
If you don't
right.
want to
But if
spend
you-
$30 for your triple
Yeah.
sec, buy the $4 bottle
That's
of triple
exactly right.
sec.
But we learned in Mexico that Cointreau down there is
Yeah,
sold just as cheaply. Not the brand, but
Uh-huh.
like their version of like
the
a nice
orange liqueur, sure.
the
Right.
orange liqueur was really cheap, and they called it like Controy.
Right on.
But it was lovely with fresh, and there is a little bit of a difference.
Oh, I'm sure there is. Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
But for my unrefined palate and for the purposes
Yeah,
of
and
like
the thing
mass
you want
producing
to
a drink.
The thing you want to avoid though with mixing gins, as a former mixologist, be
Very
careful
nice.
with cheap gins because
Sure.
that
Headache.
stank is hard to cover.
Oh
up.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta go up a little bit. Like you can't really start lower than Tanqueray.
Totally. Well,
Without
New
killing somebody.
Amsterdam is one of those like kind of niche products. It's American made. It's kind of like Tito's, but they
Right.
also have a gin. You know what I mean? So
Right,
they
right.
are.
That's what I'm saying. As long as you're doing something with a little bit of quality to it, but you just can't do.
Because again, I wasn't gonna pay the $30 for the sapphire either.
Right. That's why you
Listen,
don't have to go
I'm a
that
girl
high.
on a budget.
Once you get to Sapphire, then you can't fuck around with it. Like you're not gonna put fresh juices and stuff
Gosh, I hope.
because you're paying for the taste of.
Well, it's
Right.
like him and vodka.
Sapphire,
like, you'd
yeah.
never take Ultimate Vodka and do anything but ice
Ask
to
for
it.
it by name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna put juice in it, then I have another bottle in the freezer that's perfectly appropriate to juice up.
Sure.
Like I keep both on hand, but
Oh.
you're not doing that with my good vodka. Like no.
I'm also obsessed with giant ice cubes. I currently have. I brought some in a Tupperware because I wanted to use them.
Oh.
I have big
She
round
drove
spheres.
very fast.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean they're big chunks of ice, so they don't melt very quickly.
This also has a
kidding.
freezer section that you
That's
could
very
keep.
exciting.
It's,
No,
so
I'm
it's the
gonna-
upper level. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have those at home.
Because
those things that,
for the bourbon drink, I
Yeah.
bought the big square,
Yeah.
the big cube
Yeah.
of ice that fits just like right into a
Oh,
rock
Have you
glass.
seen
Yes,
the round
yes,
ones?
yes.
Yeah.
Like at the Gladly,
The
you
glass
can get
balls.
the right.
Like ice
But-
balls.
So because those are real fucking expensive to get the one that'll make the perfect.
Yeah, and I
Kind
was
of
wondering, like,
real
how do you
expensive.
pull the peel off that?
Yeah, but you can get They had ones, I don't know, Amazon, Groupon, some shit where you just pour it in, and I have them at my house. If you want me to bring them, I will.
Right
Which
on.
refrigerator
they're-
are they in? Because you've got 3.
They're in the one in the kitchen where the ice maker is.
Yeah.
Right.
But and you just fill it up with good water, and you close it up, and it opens up. You put it under.
Is it just a
little hot
single?
water. Yeah, they're this big.
Okay.
I just
And
wondered, like,
I
do you
think I had,
do you
like, 3 or 4 of
unscrew
them.
it to get?
Yeah, so
like-
you take it and then you put it under hot water, and then it will in half
Oh,
because
the
otherwise
shells
it
pop
just
off.
closes.
Yeah.
And so you close it, and the top part
So,
opens
well, here,
up.
let
You
me go
put a
get
little
some.
funnel.
And that's how you get it in water.
Yeah.
It's just a circular.
But
I'm
it's
so
that's all
curious
it
as to
is.
you get that
Yeah.
circle. Like that's some engineering, people.
If you put too much water in, of course, it wouldn't be a perfect circle.
Right.
Takes just the right.
I like that on the show we're going to educate the public about what round balls of ice look like. This is going to be good.
Very nice. Yes.
Now-
Very nice. These
Well,
are
no,
a
I
little
mean
bit-
it's
these are a
one of
little
those things that
bigger.
technically, like
'Cause I'm a size
engineering wise, that's fucking tricky.
Can you show your balls to the camera?
So
Kat?
I
like you to.
sure will. I bought a.
I'm having one just on principle.
Please do. Yeah.
Oh, look
no,
at that.
Right in there. I
I
bought.
don't care how much it costs you to make it. I'll take
Silicone
one.
molds. It didn't cost me anything. It cost me like $12 to buy the mold. Who cares?
Okay.
In fact, I need another one too.
Oh my God.
And also, if you would like,
Wait,
you
oh,
can
look
get
at this.
those in a Star
Look at that.
Wars
It
mold.
look, to everybody else
For
in the
people.
world, that is hail.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't get that here, so we have
Such a
to
good
make our
point.
own hail.
If it
Good
makes a
point.
pretty ice cube, I say fucking use it.
Right. So this was the first run, and these were like an obviously inexpensive mold, but it's 2 pieces of silicone that just kind of seal together, and there's a little air hole at the top, and so you just fill each little guy and stick it
Well,
in
I
the
mean,
freezer.
it's this new age of cocktails, but there's just something smart about that big square.
That big
Real
square cup
uppity
looks really
bullshit.
cool.
It is.
I
It's
love it at the
bougie. It's
Gladly.
bougie bullshit.
That's the word I wanted right
But,
there.
but let me tell you that bougie bullshit helps people
Yeah.
feel okay about paying $9 for a drink.
Oh,
exactly
yes.
right.
And tipping 3.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
and-
honest to God, and
Sure.
I've got
At the Gladly, it's fascinating to watch that. Watch them make that with the silver. You've been to
Yeah.
Gladly, right?
I've seen it.
I've not no.
Oh,
I've seen it done.
that
need to
would
go
be
watch
a
them
great
do some
place
bougie
for
stuff.
the 4 of us to go.
Yeah.
Well, shut
And
it
it-
down. Let's go.
And they have this silver, and they bring it out, and it's a chunk of ice, and they just over time.
Because the heat
Right.
or the compression makes heat
just
and it
fun to
melts it.
watch.
It melts the edges off and
Oh,
makes
so,
it. As,
so they bring out a big block and then
Right, and they
compress.
set it down, and it's very
So what happens at the end of it?
you have a ball of
You
ice.
take the ball of ice and you put it into your
Oh.
cocktail.
My way's easier.
I like your
I know,
ways.
but it's,
yeah.
I
it's
need a-
so now.
I need a
Wait till
vid-
you see it. And wait
I
till
need
you
I
a
got
get
visual.
6.
there.
I got 12 more of them making it home right now.
Yeah,
Not doing anything.
I just need a visual to see what that one's about.
It's
We're gonna have to go-
fantastic.
we're gonna
That's
have to
all
go
I'm
check
saying.
Curious, sir. But even though I have no intention of ordering off it, I like looking at a cocktail menu and see if you bothered to write this down. Is this creative or is this just some bullshit? You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Is
are you
this
putting a
just triple
Cosmo
set?
on here and an
Right.
Appletini,
Right.
or
Is this peach schnapps, blue curacao, and vodka? I don't want you.
right? Yeah.
I don't want
Or
it.
did you actually go through and have somebody make up a menu of interesting?
And that's what I'm trying to
things?
do. I'm trying to have a menu of interesting things.
Because a couple years ago, was it Saint Germain or Saint Germain or whatever the fuck
It
you
was
say that
everywhere.
word?
They were putting that
Oh
in
my god!
everything.
It's like what is it? Like, what does it taste like?
It tastes like perfume.
Yeah, and it's so funny. It's some kind of flour,
Mm-hmm.
but it's that all of a sudden it came in like we're supposed to know what that tastes like.
Oh.
I'm like, did the world wake up yesterday and all of a sudden have that on their tongue? Like
Oh,
what?
it's elderflower.
Elder, yeah, exactly. And you're like,
Ooh, elderflower.
but and
I'm
it
making
was
that shit.
seriously in every like mixed drink menu in
Every
the world.
cocktail, yeah.
All of a sudden,
I don't know. All right, that's it for me. I'm gonna go put my ice balls back. Or will they fit here?
They should.
Will that container
Al,
fit?
would you
Al,
try
will
to put
the
her
ice
balls in the
fridge?
freezer?
Don't spill the
I like
water.
being in charge
Don't
of
spill the
Stand by.
water.
Now let's see if Al can do
Please
it.
don't spill the water.
Yep. yep.
You have to lift the flap. Will it fit? Oh,
Oh
look
my
at
God.
that. Well done. Well
it was
done.
tight, but I got the.
Well, that's what she said.
Yeah.
I knew my ice balls would be in good hands.
Yeah. She holds
Wow.
them so rarely. She knows to do it gingerly.
My gosh. Well, Marn,
Yes.
I know you've had a big day, at least one big day since we last saw you.
Yes, and then the next day was painful.
Well, okay. Well, maybe you should explain to people what happened.
Well,
I was part of it, but from a distance.
Oh, and Melody is joining us on
Yes.
the YouTube's page that I finally
Melody.
decided to
hello,
monitor.
Melody.
I know. It's
How
my
are
New
you,
Year's
darling?
resolution.
Got it.
Well, I was
got a
I was
filthy mouth, too.
very over the weekend we went to Cottonwood. Aaron got drunk about a year ago, and
Just the
well,
once.
Has it just
not-
been
no,
consistently
no.
drunk
It was
for a
this
year?
one time a year ago.
One time at band
and,
camp.
Well, we were at a wine festival, and she's like, I knew she was hammered because she was talking to people,
Yeah.
Oh,
and she was like enjoying. It seemed like she was
Got
enjoying
it.
it at least.
yeah. She looked like she
And
liked.
she
it.
looked like she liked
Well,
them.
when you take a Jew on vacation to Cottonwood,
just
I can.
telling
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Yeah.
You got to get some booze in her to talk
Yeah,
her,
have
talk
to-
to the locals. All right.
Yep. So she joins
I'll make
this
a note of that in
wine
my plug.
club. She joins this wine club, and they can ship you the wine, but they charge you like $20 some, and that seems redonkulous. So let's go spend more money to go to Cottonwood.
Let's drive up there. Take
It's
a day.
beautiful.
Yeah, and
it's
you get a vacation
beautiful,
out of
and you
it.
get a vacation out of it. So we went. We had it was just a lovely time. Overnight,
Which vineyard?
we went to Stronghold.
Okay.
We were, it was mainly Stronghold. We went to this Wine 101. Not really worth it. And what's the other one? Burning Tree is the other one that we really like.
very good.
So,
Very different than burning bush wine. Very different.
yes, yes.
Smells slightly off.
Moses called and
I say
said
one
no.
of those is kosher. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I- exactly.
That's the burning bush. So that was later. And then we so we did that, and then we drove home rapidly on Sunday.
Yes. You had a meeting.
We had a meeting.
Yeah.
We had a meeting of the Purple and Gold,
Yeah.
and we got to watch one of the greatest games maybe in Viking football, just football history. maybe.
And I still.
And that's what everybody is saying, by the way. That's not just a Marnie thing.
And
so.
I was watching parts of it. I was trying to catch, and I didn't, like, I left before it ended.
Sure.
Was trying to catch clues from Sports Night or whatever was on the bar that I was at. Did they win?
Oh, yes.
Okay. In the last, like, second or
10
something?
seconds.
Okay.
Yeah. 9
But
seconds.
I couldn't get from the clues.
No, but I mean, it was like the last. Yeah, time ran out, but it was.
The
yeah,
play had
10
already
seconds.
started, so he finished the play. I actually, to my
Undeniably.
surprise, I had walked in. Other friends had asked me to come join them, so I actually had walked into Charlie's, and on one of the TVs, it was there, and I looked, I'm like, oh shit, we're in the final 53 seconds, and I'm like, oh, they're down by 1. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh fuck. So I stood there, and everybody was like, you really care about this? I'm like, trust me, I have 2 lesbians in my life right now that I'm gonna try. I just need to stand here.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
text you and I text Tammy,
Tammy, that's
and I'm
right.
standing there, and they get through it, and finally, even I was screaming, "Holy shit!" At the end of it, when he ran into
Yeah.
for the touchdown, I was, oh my god,
Yeah.
oh my god,
Yeah.
And then I
I had
freaked
neighbors
out.
running over to my house.
Well, I was apprehensive about
Wild.
texting you because oftentimes you watch on delay, and I
True.
don't like to give away the
You're
plot
very
line of
kind.
Murder She Wrote
Seriously,
to
you're
you.
kind, yeah.
So
Thank you,
when
Angela.
Aaron texts
The
back,
maid did it.
no,
Yeah.
we're watching live. This is Aaron. I'm like, oh, Marnie's running around screaming somewhere.
I really was.
But
it was amazing.
It was, and then I freaked out because then they were like, the play was under review.
Oh, I know.
Oh my god!
I,
And
trust
then-
me, and I just stood there, and everyone's like, "But they won. It's not a bad." And I go, "No, there's a goddamn flag somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you. Like they're gonna call tomorrow and say that. Oh well, you know."
But then when they showed the replay,
Yeah,
that
we
he
gotta
wasn't
take
out of
that back.
bound. When
Right.
they showed that he was not out of bound at all,
No,
and ran
no.
in.
Well, and the funniest part of the entire thing to me was that the game time runs out, right? And because for anyone who either whether they care or not but doesn't understand football, you have to kick the extra point.
Right.
So
And I had
all
forgotten
of
about that.
Right. So well, you don't have to kick the extra point, but you have to go for the extra point, because if you go to kick the extra point, let's say, and it hits the upright and bounces off,
And someone catches it and runs
the
it
other
back.
team catches it, they can run it back for a touchdown. They've just won the game. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter if time is
or
expired
blocks
or
the
not.
kicker. Or
blocks it.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So they had to get everyone. The Saints were already in their locker room.
Yeah.
And some people already had some of
Their stuff off.
their pads off. They had whatever, and they had to come. How I think that's awful. Quite frankly, I think that's bullshit that they had to then come running back out.
Well,
Because
there
that's
was-
insult to injury.
There was a long.
And then they just did a 2-point conversion so they could kneel. No harm, no foul.
Right. Many years ago,
In your football days.
yes, as a footballer, Jesus Christ,
That's a
the
long time
Bears,
ago.
The Chicago Bears.
Was it a church team?
And
I don't.
No.
Oh.
And what's
So
now
how
he's
Jesus
a
Christ
tool.
team?
He and his brother are coaches, but he used to be the quarterback for the
Oh,
Bears.
Harbaugh.
Was playing, and they kept ending the game and then reversing a call and ending the game and reversing a call, and it was delightful
Oh my
because Harbaugh, before we knew he was a tool, had to keep coming back through the tunnel and putting his shirt on
That's right.
and like playing the play, but there was like so many penalties called and things come back, and it was right before they went into the
Yes.
whole like the replay rule and all that
Yes.
stuff. It was pre all that, and you could just tell like he was disgusted, but I'm like, get that shirt off one more time,
Yeah,
fucker.
please
Bring
do.
it back.
Keep going. Yeah, keep going. Mean Joe Green me. Come on.
Yeah,
throw it at me. Mhm. Yeah, so that
Walk by
was
me again.
I did not very much have a voice yesterday, and I was so fucking hungover that I thought I might die. And I have not. I have been in here not drinking. Like, I have not been drinking. I
Yeah.
worked out at 9 o'clock yesterday morning solely based on, there you go, fucker.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I thought I might die. I
Uh-huh.
really thought I might die.
Now, is the
That was
plan?
that was after a bottle of Jaeger.
No,
me and Brenda.
Shut
Yeah.
up.
Oh well, if you're go big or go home. Is
I,
what
gue- I
said.
guess so. Now, if now
I screamed at Batman.
I forget if you
Oh,
already
right.
mentioned this previously. If they get into the Super Bowl, are you already planning to go?
No.
Okay. For some reason, I thought you had made a mention that you guys were already like squaring up to figure out how to make that
I'm not
happen.
jinxing anything right now. No.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
oh.
And who hosts it this year?
We do.
Oh, so it would be the first. That would be
The
the first
first
time
team,
that a team plays in its own stadium at the Super
Exactly.
Bowl. That they're literally the home
At
team.
the
It
home
would be the
team.
first time in history.
in the
In
Vikes.
52 years of
ever.
the
and
Super
ever.
Bowl.
And no,
Right.
no
No.
team has
In the
ever played
world.
their own
Right, because we
stadium.
almost got it. The Cards almost got it when
Right.
they were here. Was it last year,
Correct.
year before, when we had the Super Bowl, when they were in the Super Bowl here?
Right.
Or however many years ago it was, I forget.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
God, has it been that long already? God,
It
time
has been,
surf
yeah.
flies. But yeah, I remember that was the big hullabaloo.
Sure.
It could potentially be the first home game, home stadium win. Blah blah blah
Yep.
blah. Got
Yeah,
it.
didn't happen.
No,
'Cause we're still waiting. So
right,
now
still waiting.
Next week we play the Philadelphia Eagles, but it's outside. It's in Philadelphia. Who knows? So we'll
Okay,
see.
got it,
We'll
Yeah.
see.
got it.
But God,
Now the winner. So the winner of that game.
you
So
were so funny texting. That was
so
cool.
right now we got 4 teams still out there, right?
Right.
2 and 2.
Yep.
Those two
So
rumble,
AFC,
and then we
NFC.
get okay.
yeah,
Got it.
and then they go to the dance.
Got it.
Then
All
they
right.
go
I just
to
like
the
to,
Just to
dance,
keep
that's
that
right.
West Side Story thing
That's
going.
right.
like to make sure I understand how this
So
goes.
after next weekend,
I had a
we'll
musical
know
theater
who
that
is
for
in
some
the Super
listeners.
Bowl.
Right.
And,
it's
that's 2 weeks.
two weeks
then,
later, right. I knew-
February 4th.
Well, I've got the date written on my calendar for that because I figure I may have to do something for work on that
Absolutely,
day.
probably.
Who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
Golly.
So-
Now you got a sports show on this goddamn network, so there's that.
We like to cover everything.
By the way, speaking of football, where's the why can't I think of his name now? Where's Mark Sanchez?
Mark Sanchez was with the
Well, where's he now?
because I don't know if he was
I
brought
don't-
back.
I don't
I figured
think
you would
I
know
thought
these.
he was with the Bears.
I thought he, would
was
know
like,
these things.
He
Wasn't
was
he?
like third string for the.
Bears, I
I have
thought.
to look everything.
I
up.
can't remember.
I thought it was Bears.
Well, I
He
was
was,
just-
he was never gonna play.
he was not playing,
but
he was with the
put-
Cowboys at one point.
Yeah, and he got put into a game and just bit it.
Yeah, really big.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it over? Is it over for
Oh, yeah.
for Marky?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
waiting for his next career. He
Yeah.
hasn't.
Oh,
he
I
hasn't-
didn't know.
We're
He
not
hasn't
sure when
played
he's
in a
gonna
few
play.
years. Yeah,
Well, you haven't been talking about him, so I didn't know if there was something new. You guys
he's
broke
still
up.
good looking. There's no getting around that. But
There you go.
he's
It's true.
He was better looking when he. No, I liked him better when he had more hair. I don't like these newer
Oh,
pictures.
does he have a chick?
Well, not shaved, but it's just sort. I don't like it. Sort of. I liked him.
he's aging like a human being does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I liked him better.
We
than,
never thought he was. A
What's the
human being.
green? What's the green outfit? he's in?
Jets.
Yeah,
The
he was.
Jets.
I liked him better at
the
that age.
green
The green
outfit.
outfit. What's the green
Who-
dress?
What's the green blouse?
Well, if you
Is that
put
a
from the
blouse?
cover of GQ, I was good. He looks like Mark Consuelos on that one to me a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Which I'm not. But Mark Consuelos is a little guy. Kelly Ripa's husband.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I know.
But
who
a
he is.
cutie.
He's cute.
God, he's cute.
Oh yeah, he was.
When they used
and
to
he was
be
hot
on,
on General House
oh,
and
yeah.
All My Children.
Yep.
Oh.
When those
Any of those
Sweet
shows.
Baby Jesus. No, but he was on All My Children.
Yeah.
I know my ABC soap
That's what I'm
operas.
saying.
Don't fuck with
Don't
me.
fuck with that shit.
There
Oh,
was, there was a reunion, when those memories come up from
Memory.
Facebook. And on this day, a few years ago, they had the Goodbye to One Life to Live when that got canceled.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
And they were all on The View.
Yeah.
And I was like reading it and how emotional I was about like a show I had given up like 20 some years ago.
Yeah.
My
You
intervention.
thought they all
on- so,
died?
yeah. No, I knew they'd never die because I could still turn on the TV and they'd still be there's the same 3 people. I mean, fuck, Monica's back on General Hospital. I watched like 2 minutes at General Hospital. I'm like, and Monica is still with us. Like
Yeah,
somehow
for
she
real.
has a storyline.
I didn't know there was even soap still going on regular broadcast.
Yeah, General Hospital and what's
Are
the
Days
big
of Our
one?
Lives still
Days of
go-
Our Lives.
Oh, my
the big
God.
one.
That's right.
And I
That
think The
is-
Bold and the Beautiful.
I wonder
is
if I
still
could
on,
step
That I
into
don't
Days.
know.
I haven't watched Days of Our Lives in 25
bet you
years.
could.
They're all still on there.
I bet you could.
Grandma and I used to talk about that because I worked at the NBC affiliate. When I would go home in the afternoon, we would talk about that day's episode. We were both very into it.
There are a
and,
few
and
people that I'm
Stefano
seeing.
has a plan.
Oh,
Stefano.
Stefano.
Yeah.
Thank you, because I'm like, there was someone that I'm seeing that I thought was on General Hospital.
He was Patch on General Hospital.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
you go.
that.
There you
Oh,
go.
with Bo and Hope and all of those
Steve,
people. Oh,
Yep.
Oh yeah. I mean, we've all been
Oh,
addicts
sure.
for our stories.
It was all my children. It was all my children.
Mine was General Hospital, but then all my children.
all my
kicker.
children. One life to live.
Ryan's
Ryan's
Hope.
hope. All
That
my
didn't care about
children.
that.
One life
Now
to
you
live
know-
in
you know
General
you're of a
Hospital.
certain age
It
when,
was
like,
all the
That Ryan's Hope
Yeah.
kind of brings a soft place
Oh,
to
I
your
really
heart.
loved Ryan's Hope. Yep. The Brog and shit, whatever. You know, I'm really good bad at those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna leave it alone.
Fabulous acting.
I
Al,
love
what
it.
you
it was just
doing?
a fun week of like working on my amendment.
Oh.
That's not the right
Sorry.
word.
Amendment. Where are you going with this?
Resolution for the
Oh.
year to like
Oh.
do more with people locally.
Mm-hmm.
Because last
Very
year, I
nice.
spent a lot of time doing stuff
Traveling.
with people in other places. So spent Sunday with a good friend of mine and his fiance, who's turning into a good friend too. It's very fun.
Nice.
We went to La Grande Orange for
I love
dinner.
it.
Still one of the best pizza places
Yeah.
in Phoenix. Like that pizza is on point.
Mm-hmm.
The wine is spectacularly cheap. I was looking at the prices for a bottle and just laughing. I'm like, should we offer them money? Are they going out of business? Like, why is it $16 for a bottle of very drinkable wine at a bar? But the pizzas were spectacular, and a smoked salmon salad and lovely conversation. We had a fun time. And then last night, yesterday afternoon, went with a friend for breakfast to Switch.
Switch down
I
on
like
Central
Switch.
next,
Yeah.
next to
Mama died, I
Durant's.
thought so.
They had some menu changes, but it was
Well, they have a
fun
whole
and-
ownership change.
Oh, okay.
That's
Durant?
part
Did
of
they?
it.
Durant?
Or next to Durant's.
Oh, wow.
Switch.
Switch.
Okay.
So I mean the menu change was charming. There was the special was delicious. It was fun hanging out with another friend, got some laughs. Then for I will say dinner, but we forgot to eat. Was when I was with some of my favorite people I work with, and went to Postino, and I just got to tell you, for 4 people, 2 bruschettas and the pub board is not dinner.
No,
No.
Like I left there like fucking hungry. But we had some delicious wine and great company and a beautiful night. The weather, well, the sun is shining,
No,
is
our weather
just
is
on point this
Perfect,
week.
I know.
Absolutely beautiful. So we
It
sat
is.
we sat outside both times, and then the sun went down. They brought us a heater. It was delightful to stay out, and then we've got this pact that no matter what time we get there, like we have to clear out at 9 o'clock. Like we have to call an end to that so it doesn't turn into
No.
you know.
Bad News Bears over there.
Yeah, bad decision bears. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, but it was just
My God. This is awful.
it was a lovely end to ours though, and slept like a baby. I
Oh,
gotta
Yeah,
tell
me
you.
that's
too,
good.
for about 2.5 days.
Yeah.
Heavens.
And you, sir?
Just catching up on a couple things, trying to clear out the old DVR, but I don't have to worry so much now that I've got the new Contour. There's so much room on that thing. I keep thinking if it's got more than 10 shows, I better start clearing it out. But you're at 2%. Like it's just
Yeah,
crazy.
crazy.
But I did catch up on. I'm almost through all of that batshit basket show. I'm almost there. I watched Kennedy Center Honors. I watched those last night, which
I saw that.
I knew you knew, which was funny because one of the comments made by and his daughter looks pretty good. I mean, I haven't seen her in a while. Nicole Richie, because Lionel Richie was
Oh,
one
yeah.
of the recipients. She made the comment that when he is the happiest person all the time, no matter what, and he answers his phone by yelling "Showtime" rather than "Hello."
Oh.
Right.
Which you think? I mean, Lionel Richie answering "Hello" was kind of
It
there's
feels
some irony in that.
feels weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
I
Lionel
would
Richie.
be like, it's me you're looking for.
Yeah.
You know, I bet no one's
I
ever
bet he's
done
sick of that joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet
Yeah.
that's why the
Ever done
Showtime.
that.
So's Adele.
real quick.
Right.
He was such a good part of the Neil Diamond tribute that I'm like, well, I'm excited to see that because he did I Am, I Said.
Oh,
And I was, again, added something different to it that I wasn't expecting. And all of a sudden, I Am, I Said is one of my all-time favorite songs now. I've been listening to it since. So I'm waiting to see what surprises they come up with there.
oh, you haven't watched it yet.
Because remember, there is that long period when Lionel Richie didn't suck. So as
Well,
long as we stay on that
As,
side
as,
of the
now, as I was enjoying it last
didn't
night,
suck.
No.
Ooh, that sucks real
Oh,
hard.
that's bad.
Yeah.
this is where I draw the line with Al on differences in music. I don't think there was a time he didn't. I think all of his stuff is good. I don't have a problem with any
Yeah, I
Lionel
like
Richie
it.
music at all.
I
Even the Mama Say Mama Sama,
Jambalaya,
whatever
no,
Jambalaya.
he's-
I'm still okay with it.
So
That's
I
still
have,
good.
however, begun to insist that everyone refer to that song by its full name
Oh,
all night long, parenthetically all
All
night.
night, yeah.
All the time. People are like, "Oh, is that song all night?" Here's the song title. Hold on. I must insist. Please pardon the interruption. I must insist that we call it by its true song title.
Push, a novel.
All
by-
night long,
Right.
parenthetically all night.
Yeah. So after I watched it last
But
night.
that's not right. I think you would. That's still on the borderline. Like that one doesn't follow.
Well, what do
it
you
just sucked
what do you
down.
dislike?
Everything. Dancing on the Ceiling on.
Again, no problem
Fair.
with that
Yeah,
one.
I know,
Oh,
that's-
it's time we just want to
It's an
club baby
awful
seals.
video. Awful video. But
And
it's,
it's
a great
just a
song.
terrible song.
Doesn't
Yeah.
bother me. at
I
all.
Yeah.
loved Emily Estefan's song though.
Oh, yeah.
was so
That
good.
came out of nowhere. That
Yeah.
girl can sing.
I know, and then I went
Holy
and looked her
shit.
up online. She can sing.
I was astounded by
Oh,
that.
Gloria's daughter.
Gloria's
Yeah.
daughter. Yeah, I was really wow. That, She just open mouth and just everything fell out of it. It was just fantastic.
And the musical genius of Gloria Estefan is that when she
The
sings
traditional spelling.
yeah, when she sings her own hits, she's so good. Like she writes for herself perfectly.
Right.
The minute she sings something else, you're like, "Ooh, honey, this is not in your range." But when she writes for herself, those songs are like gloriously written. Anything for you and Can't
Oh,
Get
I
Away
love that
from You
song.
and Can't
Oh,
Stand
forget
You.
it.
But the minute she
Stand
goes,
You.
the
Oh,
minute
I
she
love
gets
Anything for
that
You.
turn the beat around, I'm like, just turn
Yeah.
around and walk out, Gloria. This
Yeah.
is not your genre. Like,
Now, when and I've forgotten.
I don't care. I still
She's
love that
I
song.
do love that one
And
as well.
it was, if I'm not mistaken, it's
Oh,
her,
but the
her
original is-
daughter that outed
No,
her.
oh, really?
Sure, you could Google it, but her height. She's 4'11". Gloria
Yeah.
Estefan is 4'11", which I
Oh, yeah.
believe is the same height as Judy Garland was. And I'm like,
I think Judy Garland was shorter. I think Judy Garland was like 4'10".
something okay, somewhere in that area. But still, like, I know my mom is 5'3", 5'3 and a half, whatever, Mom. I know we may have lost that half inch, but
Judy's 4'11".
I still know, like, that little dynamo. I never even, when I see her on stage, I never think about the fact that she's that tiny, because that's a little bitty woman
Gloria
doing
Estefan
all
is
that.
5'2", according to Google.
5'2".
5'2". Judy.
I wonder if
4'11".
that's what she
Chris-
was before
Chris-
the wreck.
Christian Chenoweth is 4'11" because she talks about it all the time.
And we just saw her. She's
Because
tiny.
my mom was 4'11".
Okay.
And when people say they were intimidated by her, I'm like, she's 4'11".
Well,
But
people,
oh yeah, but she
people
scared
have been
the shit out of
intimidated.
people.
People have been
Cheno, as
intimidated.
I believe her friends call her, Cheno is also 4'11".
Cheno,
Yeah.
sure.
Cheno.
But she mentions that a lot, that she's the
Oh,
same
yeah.
height as Judy Garland. Like she kind of clings to that. Like she's not the
Oh, I
first.
understand that intimidated by the size. I mean, my mom was a little gal, but you don't fuck with her.
No.
Like, you just no. Your mom was, I'm sure, the same way. You just get out of the way.
My mom's 5'9", and you also don't fuck with her.
Right? Yeah.
So anyway, caught up on that which you'll enjoy. I watched the whole thing. It was interesting because since I was introduced to this is the 40th year anniversary of them doing the show. If I'm not mistaken, this was the 40th,
That makes sense.
according to what they said. Interesting because this is the first year that
The
the
president.
president hasn't been there, which I thought was
No,
refreshing.
that's actually not
Oh,
true.
okay.
It's the first year that a president has declined to go.
Refused to go?
Oh.
One of the Bushes couldn't make it.
And
Regard-
I feel like Clinton had to miss a year too for something. Something was going on in the world, and he was not at
but
the.
I guess so this is the only one that's been under for whatever reasons they couldn't be there, was different than this one where, first of all, nobody wanted him to be there.
Yeah, and you usually have the dinner at the White House and are presented with the
Right.
Medal
They
of.
were-
Is it the Medal of Freedom or Medal of
Doesn't
Honor?
touch anymore.
They were
I don't know.
at the White House. You will see the footage. They show the ceremony. They were at the White House. They were there. And if I'm not mistaken, the one who presented them with all of them, I forget his name. He makes a very funny line in the show. You'll see the what is he? The president of the Kennedy Center, the white-haired guy that comes out every year and gives his little announcement about the celebration of the arts.
Oh.
He's the one that presented them with their medals.
In the White House.
I believe they were in the White because they were in the White House.
Wow, that's a huge.
I'm almost certain.
Can you imagine, like, you're in the White House bestowing an honor on somebody and you're not the president or the vice president?
Right.
Like, no one in the arts wants anything to do with you?
I'm
Sure.
pretty certain
Wow.
if you look at that, because the fact there was also a presidential podium there.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But just the fact that
I get
someone
what you're-
else
yeah.
is bestowing an honor
In
in
the-
the residence of the
Sure.
president, and
But
it's not the vice president.
It was a
Like,
white-haired guy, and I do not believe it was Pence. So, anyhow.
Well, you know, because Pence would be there with his wife because he can't be
Right,
alone
can't be in
with
the room.
anybody.
Right now, one of the other lines was, and you will enjoy this when you see it. I really liked the Norman Lear segment that they did, because
yeah,
obviously
that
you
was
go
really
through
good.
all of the series. And Cheetah Rivera. Am I using the right name? Is that
Or
the
is it
right?
Rita Moreno?
Rita Moreno. My
Rita,
bad.
yeah.
Rita Moreno. She makes.
It's Cheetah, not Rita.
She makes a comment with regards to Norman Lear and all of the groundbreaking shows that he did. Obviously, Jefferson's on the Family, Good Times, Maude, all those. And she makes the comment about how it was groundbreaking about the fight of inequality and harassment. And she goes down this whole list of things, and she goes, "We've come a long way," and then she just laughs.
Yeah. And she's,
Yeah, that was a well-delivered joke.
It was very well timed. I
and,
liked it.
She is starring in the redo
Of One Day at a
One
Time.
Day at a Time, and by all accounts, it's fantastic.
I've not seen it, but I've heard
I
it.
have not seen
Okay.
it, and they said that it's been revamped in the whole revision. They said it's its own show, just sharing a similar theme and sharing Norman Lear.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
Who's
he's a part of,
95.
he's a part of the production, and
Yeah.
but very well reviewed.
Okay.
In case you were wondering, presidents that have not attended the Kennedy Center honors include in 1994, Clinton was on his way to Budapest for a conference, or Budapest, as I
Budapest.
believe they like to say. Also, George Bush Sr. was at a summit in Malta in 1989, and in 1979, Carter opted to skip because of the Iran hostage crisis.
Okay.
Oh.
those are the times when we've had no president at the Kennedy Center.
But I don't think any of those presidents were on the side. "Oh, I really wish you wouldn't be here."
No.
Nobody ever got that. So
Oh yeah. And
I mean, I don't know that Carter was especially popular during the hostage crisis.
he wasn't, but he was popular with who was there.
Right.
Like he was
Right,
he was
right.
liked.
No,
It was-
I don't think any president has been as hated as our current president.
No,
Like,
no,
but
ever.
we're at a
That's
new
re-
level.
it was also enjoyable. I was really taken aback, and you will enjoy watching.
Because Bush 2 was for Barbara.
Yeah.
Barbara got picked on his watch.
Right, exactly.
And they were gracious to each other.
When you watch the segment of LL Cool J, to watch that audience of a bunch of white people
It's so
try
much
to,
fun.
it was funny. It's
Oh,
enjoyable
yeah.
to watch. He is still at 50 years old.
funny,
He's
and
adorable.
He is.
Oh,
He is adorable, and I love the fact that he's got 4 kids, been married to the same woman 22
Yeah.
years. Like he is all stability just everywhere. I think he's fantastic. I am not a big fan of all of his music,
Sure.
nor the tribute that they did, the tribute that they did to him necessarily for him, but. A lot of people loved it. I mean, it was very cool, but it was enjoyable. The whole thing, I enjoyed all of it. Very cool to see. And watching Lionel Richie, LL Cool J, and Gloria Estefan jam together during the
Yeah.
musical
And
part.
hearing you say jam, I mean, there's so
There's
many
the
winners.
marmalade jam, whatever it is. Yeah, there's that. It was
It's like
fun.
me saying, dude, Val can't pull that off.
Look at you utilizing the phrase. How'd that work out?
I feel refreshed.
You didn't have to miss a segment or
No,
anything.
see?
Look at that
It's paying for itself.
already.
Your productivity is up.
And I was gonna save it for Death Den, but Dolores
O'Riordan.
yeah, I'm never sure how to say that last name. From the Cranberries, died.
Amazing voice.
Yes, in some lovely, lovely songs. So at some point, hopefully, we can play.
I hope she comes back as a zombie.
Oh, me
Hey.
too.
What?
Hey.
Do we know why? Because she's what, 46?
Thank you.
Young.
Yeah, young.
Yeah,
Well,
she was young.
Do we know why?
I don't know.
Not why
Not
she was
yet.
young. She was
No.
obviously born at a certain
No,
time.
it wasn't announced yet.
Yeah. Okay. So we haven't got there yet.
But they had canceled some stuff because she had some back pain issues. So I'm a little nervous when somebody dies suddenly after having
Sure.
What could that mean?
pain issues that they may have overdosed on pain medicine.
Oh, okay.
You know, we are the show about the heroin addiction in America.
CNN says it was not suspicious.
Oh, good.
No. Okay.
Well, then that's
Well,
still
even an
more
overdose isn't
startling.
suspicious. I mean, if you
Right.
know about it, it's we know about it.
Yep.
I didn't know if maybe this had been a long-term injury or not injury, a long-term illness. Who knows? There's so many things that could have happened.
Oh yeah. So I think at some point we should find Dreams and play it in her honor because
Oh, that is a lovely
that
song.
is just a great road song and
We'll
it's just a great.
We'll just get hit for copyright. That's all that happens.
Well, it's a tribute to her
Oh,
death. We
I
don't
understand,
have to
but
pay for it.
YouTube doesn't give a shit. They don't care about that at all. But we
They don't care about us at all.
They don't care. Nobody
Care
gives a
about your
fuck.
people.
Here we go. But we can do this and find out how this goes.
Obsession. Are you obsessed? Is it keeping you up at night? Do you find yourself constantly making references only to be met with blank stares? Obsession. This segment is for you. Obsession. Whether it's musicals, mowers, Motown, Subarus, or Sondheim, it's time to share your obsession. Obsession. With the show with Clayton McKee.
Alrighty.
The Greatest Showman, the end. Marnie?
The Minnesota Vikings. The end.
Okay, next.
Yep.
George Michael. The documentary, which I forgot to
Oh.
talk about in the entertainment section last week, is on the Showtime. Run, Don't Walk, go over someone's house that has Showtime and just truly enjoy the documentary made by him. Nearly finished at the time of his death. It was what he was working on. He had a song or an album ready to go, and the documentary was for a planned release last March. They just needed some tweaks to it. They got permission from the family and estate to let go, let God. There's one little goofy thing where they have like a stand-in sitting at a typewriter typing out his narrated thoughts that I thought was really kind of unnecessary.
Okay, right.
Like,
Well, I kept wanting to make the joke as we were watching it. Well, the reason it took so fucking long is he's using that goddamn typewriter.
writer, yeah.
Jesus, pizza.
So, but a really like honest documentary. I mean, it's him as the filmmaker. So there's, maybe there's some things that other filmmakers may have concentrated on more. Like he does kind of like, brush by the things that other people might focus on.
Oh, he didn't talk about Beverly Hills at all.
It's mentioned, but it's mentioned very. But
yeah.
it's like a casual drive-by.
Yeah.
That he gave a blowjob in a bathroom.
In a
once.
park that he's still not permitted to be in, even though he's dead.
But
Don't bury him there.
but they talk about the
Awkward,
fact that he
super
did a
awkward.
song and dance about it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Okay.
And kind of forgot, like, there was people on there that I was like, why this person? Why is this person being interviewed? And then you remember, oh, because he worked them. Like, I forgot he was on Extras. So I couldn't figure out what Ricky Gervais was doing there commenting. And then I remember his funny episode of Extras where he
Okay.
was so good as himself, as most celebrities that are on Extras were playing themselves, including Kate Winslet, where he tells her the only way she'll win an Oscar if she plays a Nazi. And then in real life, she won an Oscar for playing a Nazi.
It's
This
all
is a
rigged.
quote. This is a quote. But I think Bill Maher said, "She played a retarded Nazi. How is she gonna lose?"
That's a twofer right
Here,
there.
here's him. This is a quote.
It's a
I'm
twofer.
just
Yeah.
quoting.
It's a valid point.
But I mean, just the music. So I've been for the last 2 weeks. I have just been listening to, and the one album that I forgot, and ironically, I forgot it with the picture of it right outside this door that we've been
Older?
looking at for 2 years. Was the
Interesting.
album Older, and just how solid an album I thought that was.
Huh.
And
Wha-
just going back and looking at stuff and listening to stuff and stuff that I'm like, yeah, you know what, that wasn't as good as I remembered, and some things being like, oh, that's way better than I remembered.
I will piggyback what your obsession is, because I've been doing the same thing. I hadn't watched it until the night of the Golden Globes at your house. I watched that documentary with you, and it was heartbreaking because he goes through the entire death of Anselmo, which is his first love, like that whole thing, and then Anselmo gets sick, and that when he talks about having to perform at the Freddie Mercury tribute concert, singing the song "Somebody to Love," knowing that Anselmo's in the front row and is terminal. We already know where this is going to end up. Singing "Somebody to Love," tribute to a star that died of the same disease that Anselmo is dying of. Oh my God! I just started just crying
That's, I
on
mean,
his
having
couch.
it be made by him,
It's heavy.
It focused
Right.
on more personal things that
Yeah.
probably an outsider would have gotten to, and that's like a brilliant point that he had somebody to love, but he couldn't tell anybody. The record company was like, not the time. Like it sounded like he was ready to come out maybe a couple years prior to him actually doing it, whether forced it or not. But he has a great line in there where he talks about, why would you come forward about your sexuality if you get no joy from your
Right.
sexuality?
Yeah.
If there is no love there and there's no joy, what am I telling people about?
So
And I thought, and I thought that was so profound that it didn't matter until he fell in love and had a relationship,
Sure.
like,
and wanted to be proud of it
and wanted to
couldn't
be proud of it. And it was, there was some moments of real, like, real insight there. And one of the other things that I really liked about it, like I said, like when you're listening to stuff and there's like, oh, that's not a garbage. There's a, that's her purse.
It's just all down in that bag. Yeah. Crumbs for later. Thank you, please, sir. May I have some more?
So,
Jesus
Feed the
Christ.
birds.
just listening, Tuppence a bag, and I'm gonna put them all in there. So the odd thing was like listening to the first album, listening to Faith, and listening to Wham, and like why some of that just kind of like, it's because when he gets personal and starts writing the songs, and you can just feel that connection to like, this is a nice pop song and it's fun to sing along to, but I can forget it in 10 minutes compared to like, oh, this is a really personal song. There's a reason you're singing it. There's a reason I identify with it. You know, there's just something else there. And the more personal he gets about his writing, it just comes through, and all of a sudden it informs your own decisions, and like, you know what I mean? It has an impact. And there's a song called "Spinning That Wheel" that I like a dance mix of, but the actual thing is, it's just a genius song about, you know, love in the 90s.
Right.
Like, you know, I got a feeling
Right.
about strangers, baby. Are you getting what you want from me? Got a feeling about danger. Is that what you want? Like, just telling somebody, and one of these days you're going to bring something home to me. You're just spinning a roulette wheel.
Yeah, roulette. Russian, yeah.
You go out and cheat and have your random sex and come home to me, and like, something's coming back. Like, you're spinning the wheel. And it's like, it's so dancey and so, well, the dance version is, but it's a jazzy arrangement of what's really a dark, dark song about, if we're in this, we're going to be faithful, because why bring that home to me?
Right.
And it's just, and to me, it's one of those things that kind of informed my dating choices from then on, is like, and it kind of touched me where like other stuff that I'm like, you hit some pretty notes. So
So I've been listening to a lot of George stuff too, of all eras, back from the beginnings, Club Tropicana back in '83, all the way through everything else. But I also, because goddamn YouTube is such a rabbit hole, it knows what I like. Aside from clicking on this, that, or the other from George, well, then there was an Oprah interview with Donna Summer. Well, I got sucked into that.
Yeah.
And I watched. It was the whole thing where it was the I Will Go With You, the VH1 Live and More extra, whatever the hell now it's personal, whatever the hell they call that.
And they have a funny moment where they admit that they don't know it, that they've
Except
never
they-
met.
no, they-
Like all black women don't know each other.
And then she goes, but we all look alike.
Right.
And there's something like, oh, wow, okay. Oprah and Donna Summer making that comment. So I watched that, and then it led to a couple other video performances that apparently are just on video, that there's no actual CD recording or album recording, and that's unfortunate. If something she did live in concert like once,
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, that's heartbreaking. Like, why is that not on an album somewhere?
Right.
And I looked for it to see if maybe it is, and nobody really knows about it, but I can't find it. But anyway,
Now, every once in a while, if you find it on the YouTubes, Donna Summer doing Pearls by Sade.
Oh, I
It
did
Hurts
not
Like
know.
Brand New Shoes.
Pearls, Donna Summer.
And it's live from Niagara Falls. And I saw her when she was in Niagara Falls, and she sang that, and I was like, there is a woman in Somalia. And you're just like, oh, fuck me. She's going to do Sade and just lays it bare.
So anyway, those are my little things with obsessions this past week. There's a lot of music because when you re-listen to something, like I said, after the George Michael thing, and I now know the pain that was literally behind some of what it is. I knew the things about My Mother Has a Brother, because that story is well, to those of us who follow George, his uncle committed suicide because he was gay, and then when George was born, the day George was born, his uncle committed suicide so that his mother would be distracted by the newborn child. Like, there's all these stories. I'm like, okay, you know these things.
This is a Christmas story?
No, it's the song "My Mother Has a Brother."
Oh, I know.
Uplifting tale.
And then there's around here, like other little stories, about the family and when he lost his mom. But I had never heard that deep of a story in regards to Anselmo and what he had gone through. And again, when the show must go on, and he's got to sell all of this with just being brokenhearted. It's it's just nuts to me.
And singing to the man he loves. Like, find
Yeah.
me somebody to love, and he's alive.
I
and
found
sitting,
you.
and sitting there like
Right.
And it's funny watching the same thing. Like, to me, that's kind of, aside from the fact that he can't admit it, to me it's a happy moment of like, I wish I could tell you, but I did find somebody to love. Like, and he's right there.
Right.
I mean, we're all gonna die, so I don't know.
Well,
how to
there's your
spo-
Christmas story right there.
Spoiler alert.
I know, but
And
Yeah.
a
Are you sure?
partridge in a pear
Exactly.
tree.
anyhow. Oh, and the other obsession has been just slightly the making yourself into a Family Guy character, because everybody's been doing it, and I've been Pussy LaHoot was so funny. She did hers, and I ran into her the other day because I was gonna redo hers because she said that's as good as she could do it. I'm like, I bet there's a better hairdo that we could use for that. And then I ran into her, and she goes, I couldn't help but notice that your Family Guy figure is a lot thinner than you. And I said, well, same to you.
And same to you. All right. I want to make sure. Hurts Like Brand New Shoes. The song is called Pearls.
Okay.
Because
We'll
I'm
look
never sure. Is that called Pearls or is it called Hurts Like Brand New Shoes?
We
Which I
will
love
look that
expression.
up. But before we look that up, let's do this. I get hit the button. We'll do that. My gosh, we are at the time where we're going to do our headline teaser. The beginning of hour 2 is coming up, but right now, here we go. We'd like to talk to you about Jesus.
Nope versus nope.
I have great genes.
90s, she's fighting back.
Photoshop gone very, very wrong.
Bonnie and Wide are on the run. Or scoots. They're on the scoots.
Body and wide.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Kim Kardashian.
Saved a cement head.
Oh, that's good. These stories and more headlines coming up. Beginning of hour 2, which starts right after this break, and we will get to all this exciting stuff. Right after this, it's Q Talk America. Please stick with us, won't you?
Hey girl, you okay?
You're listening to Q Talk America. is the Hugh Talk America Radio Network.
Well, welcome back. It is the beginning of Hour 2 here in Studio C. We are starting what we like to call our headline segment. We've already been through intros and obsessions and what you've been up to and all that other fun stuff. Kat Carlson is mixing another one of her gin. Well, actually, not mixing. You're shaking up what you pre-made. Another gin drink. Marnie's got some coffee from the non-controversial Starbucks. Al is sipping on some wine of some sort. Oh, turn these off. Some sort of wine. I'm not sure what you got.
I have a Puy Fusé, which is
I'm sorry.
very excited to
I
have.
hope you get a
Yeah.
shot for that.
Do they have a salve?
And I'm doing
If Puy Fusé is wrong, I don't want to be right.
I'm doing a heavy, brisk, heavy coffee there. A little wake me up before you go, if you will. Ha 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 ha. Anywho, don't forget, coming up at Hour 3 is going to be some thoughtful vulgarity, Al's entertainment segment, but right now it's headlines. Goes like this. A gay couple is suing a printing company for sending them pamphlets about weakness of the flesh and temptation instead of the colorful, customized wedding programs that they ordered. On the eve of their wedding day, a gentleman named Stephen Heasley and Andrew Borg, an Australian couple who were actually initially married last year in Pennsylvania, they opened a package from Vistaprint and were horrified to find that 80 copies of a pamphlet entitled Understanding Temptation, Fight the Good Fight of the Faith, which sounds exactly like something Pence would send to you. The pamphlet actually says things like Satan entices your flesh with evil desires, and the sin is the result of your failure to resist temptation. Well, let me tell you, I resisted temptation a long time ago, and I'm perfectly fine with it. They said that the pamphlets were discriminatory and intended to intimidate them because of their sexual orientation. Now, Borg and Heasley said that they spent weeks designing the wedding program that captured their love and the importance of their wedding day, only to be shocked when they opened the box. Now, although the pamphlets make no specific reference to gays, the couple was convinced that the message was intended to be a judgment about their lifestyle, according to their lawyers. Now, they paid basically $80 for the programs that they never received. Sarah Nash, who is a spokesperson for Vistaprint, said that the company would never discriminate against customers based on sexual orientation. Now, if I'm not mistaken, before I read on to the story, if I'm not mistaken, Vistaprint locations are franchises. For example, all of your McDonald's, all of your Burger Kings, the likes, they are not all owned by corporate. They're owned by franchises. So I believe Vistaprints are the same thing. So, you buy a franchise from a parent company and move on. According to Vistaprint, we pride ourselves on being a company that celebrates diversity and enables customers all over the world to customize products for their special events. We have just been made aware of this incident in the last few hours. We understand how upsetting it would be for anyone to receive materials such as these the night before their wedding, and we have immediately launched an internal investigation. Like I said, they live in Australia, but originally got married in Coatesville, Pennsylvania, so that more of their friends could attend the wedding. Says, until we have had the opportunity to complete our investigation, we cannot comment further. Again, that being the spokesperson for Vistaprint. The federal lawsuit was actually filed in Massachusetts District Court. So I'm very curious to find out if where this goes, because I would bet you, again, it's a franchised outfit, and it's somebody who wants to flick their beliefs on everybody else.
And
but
we need to get into that shit like sins of the flesh and shit. You're just being shitty. Like there's no, just keep that to yourself. No, you don't need to send that out as a pamphlet to anyone.
Well, no, right.
No one is the richer for having received that.
I didn't show a picture of it, but they had already designed and done all of their artwork. Literally, all they had to do, they literally emailed it to these people. Just print the fucking thing. It's all you had to do.
Yeah.
Just print it. We're done. Which they literally could have gone to a FedEx, Kinko's, whatever, and did the same thing. Whatever they call them in Australia. I don't know what they call them. But,
Hey, guys.
Dingoes. So
You were a
anywho,
little too
Dingoes,
lined up for
mate.
the exact thing. Somebody's ready for T-ball.
So anywho, I'm curious to find out if they how this comes out, of what happens with Vistaprint or that franchise in particular, because it's just kind of interesting to me.
Yeah. I mean, at the same
Is it
time,
the end?
if you start it with the Bible verse, just throw it away. You know what I mean? If you get something in the mail that starts off with sins of the flesh, just
Right,
Oh,
but
for
you're
real.
still out $80 for what you wanted.
oh right. No, I'm just saying like the
I wouldn't read the rest of it.
yeah. And the other thing is, if you're sending somebody something and it's not like love thy neighbor or something that's all positive, like don't be against stuff, be for stuff. That's the rule for
That's a good
2018.
rule.
Just
I like
don't
that.
just be against
Well,
things.
that's the whole rule of improv. Yes.
Yes,
And. Yes, and.
Just
Not no
be-
and.
just
No
be
and
for
fucks it all up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, and continues on.
I mean, if you're gonna send out a pamphlet that's about sins of the flesh, just have it say, "Don't fuck your cat or dog,"
Oh.
and move on.
Right.
Something we can all just agree on.
Or horse or pig. or
Don't
chicken.
do that, or car.
And if they would have given them their
Yes.
programs, and maybe if you want to be a dick, just put a little insert about what you know, fine. But give them their goddamn, don't ruin their day. Don't ruin their
Right,
wedding
right.
for it. If you want to slip in something about Jesus, I'll still hate you.
Okay,
but
so I
good.
guess I have a follow-up question.
Go ahead.
Where was this? I thought it just came with the package.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't listen to the story at all.
Of course
What
not,
happened?
because you're in the kitchen. Because I got to move a whole fucking bar in here for you.
Don't make me do it. I'll
It's
set up a
always
whole
something.
mixology.
I know, and we still were waiting for that bartender 5 years later. So yeah,
There's
I'm
three
gonna
of them
read this.
sitting
I'm gonna
right
let me
here.
read this paragraph again.
yeah. Because
On the eve of their wedding day, Stephen Heasley and Andrew Borg, an Australian couple who were married last year in Pennsylvania, opened a package from Vistaprint and were horrified to find 80 copies of a pamphlet entitled Understanding Temptation. Not 80 copies of a program for their wedding.
Oh, wow.
So they just got an unfortunate
this-
mix.
Got
Does this
it.
change
that
your-
changes
yeah,
it.
that changed. I thought
This is
that
like
on
hijinks.
top of it they
Oh,
got
no.
Okay.
Rather than 80
so
copies
they
of
were
your
shipped the
program.
wrong thing, and it was
Yes.
offensive.
Oh, I don't think they were shipped the wrong thing at all.
Right. So
I
in,
think it
in
was
lieu of a wedding
yeah.
program, we got a little lesson on
Listen,
don't fuck
homos.
your buddy. Yeah.
So wait, by the Alanis Morissette standard, is that ironic?
No.
No. That's
Oh, that's asshole.
what that is litigation.
yeah.
Isn't it litigation?
Don't you think?
Don't you think? Yes.
Your rule for irony is always dying of thirst in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah,
That is
that's irony.
that talks you out of any coincidence.
Surrounded by
water everywhere and not a drop to drink is irony.
It's actual irony.
That's actual irony.
I'm literally never gonna get it my entire life.
Yeah.
And I 100% blame Alanis Morissette.
And, she did a great
Fucked
disservice.
us all up.
And she
Ugh.
tried to fix it because she tried to do it's meeting the man of his dreams and meeting the man of my dreams, then meeting his beautiful wife. That's just a bummer. But
Sad, right.
meeting the man of your dreams and then meeting his beautiful husband makes it ironic that the man of your dreams is probably gay. That your ideal is probably never going to be your ideal. That gives it irony.
The more you talk about it, the more confusing.
I am
It is.
too.
It's very tough, and that's why you just avoid saying ironically because you 9 times out of 10 you're
I'm
gonna
always
get
wrong.
it wrong.
Yeah, but now it's a punchline for me. So I
And
say it
maybe
all.
we should use the word literally more. 'Cause,
No.
that,
No, we should not.
No.
Nope.
And now I'm so aware of it because I went on a literal vacation with literally the human.
I'll
And it
tell you
got-
a word.
I-
What
that-
if,
and
what
it
if
started
we
to
use
be-
more of a British pronunciation? What if it's more
Literally.
literal?
Literally.
Literally.
I have found
Literally.
myself when I do emails. I'm sorry to take up your time. You'll
No,
reclaim
please,
your
I-
time in a second.
I don't need
what
any of my time.
What I have found myself doing is when I reread an email before I send it, I realize that I use the word that way too much,
Oh, mine is just.
and I can take the word that out of all of it, and it means the same thing. It's
I
all good.
say it was just beautiful. It was just breathtaking. It was just. What is that just for?
I don't know. It's
And
like
it
it's
drives
very.
me crazy when I read
Yeah.
what I wrote. I'm like, stop!
Yeah, so I go through and take out that.
My writing annoyance is like parentheses within parentheses because I'll do that. I'll do asides everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I write like the president speaks, but intelligently. Like I'll be talking about this, and then this tangent right here, and this tangent right here, and I've literally gone
Literally.
through.
Literally.
And once you realize how much
Yeah.
you say it, it's hard to
Yeah.
stop.
But I've gone through and put actual brackets around all of my different tangents to try and like piece them together and figure out where they go.
And I think our fascination with the word literally is that you want to say like, and this time I'm not lying.
Right.
I usually deal in hyperbole, but this time,
but this
no.
time, unless of course I'm using the word literally.
And it was
to
it
use
Molly
hyperbole.
Montgomery that called it out in the chat room? Is she the one that stopped us, or was it Amina? Somebody
that was
said,
probably Molly.
"Stop literally
Stop
everything."
literally, yeah.
And I became and then I started to hear it.
That might be why she stopped listening.
I need to stop being a bitch. How about that, man?
Oh,
No, but it's good.
She doesn't listen.
It's one of
Not
those.
you.
No,
I
no,
like
no.
you being
No.
a bitch.
No, I'm saying like it's good to hear like in your you want like some criticisms of your public speaking
Feedback
or
is
of your
good.
writing
Sure.
and get some
Oh, yes.
feedback and find out like enough with that word.
Is this picture
But-
for your current story, my dear? Just to hear.
I think I sent you a couple.
You sent me one about it. Okay.
Yeah, so I've
reptile.
got two things.
Two things.
Oh, is this for two things or is this for
No,
headlines?
no, this is for
God,
the
I need to know
headlines.
this.
It's
a
her
lot.
catchphrase. Don't question
No,
it.
I know that. That's right.
It may become apparent here in a minute. Why don't we
Carry
just dive
on.
right in?
Carry on, my wayward son.
Robert Dorwald of Forest City and Don Posey of Carbondale, who were pictured scurrying around on electric scooters at a Pennsylvania Walmart after allegedly lifting a credit card and some cash from a female customer, have turned themselves in. That's right. If you can picture it, did you get that picture?
I got that picture.
Hey, there they are.
Look at them.
Oh.
A couple.
There is a weight limit, by the way, on those carts. I don't know if anybody knew that, but there is.
WNEP reports the pair were deeply apologetic after allegedly using a woman's credit card at another Walmart where their images were captured as they wheeled in on electric scooters.
Oh, you'll never. But I mean,
Really?
if you think about the typical Walmart customer, you really blend in when you're on a scooter.
Fair
Yeah.
point.
Well, Don's comments
They don't have
include
enough scooters.
It's the ambulatory ones that stick out like sore thumbs there.
the scooters just kind of blend in. It's
So
like
yeah, it's right up there with the recently bathed. You just don't see it a lot.
They're gonna have to install traffic lights at
Yeah.
Walmart now. There's so many carts,
You don't know.
so many.
oh my gosh. Well, Don said, I never do stuff like this. I don't know what came over me that day.
Never do stuff.
I wanted to turn myself in for the girl's charge card I used, and I wanted to tell her how deeply sorry I am. I know I wouldn't want it done to me. I can imagine what she went through knowing it was gone. The unidentified woman, the victim in this case, lost her purse at the Walmart near Honesdale.
Oh, of
Seems
course.
like a nice
Sure,
place.
Sure.
And the very same day, the couple is alleged to have used the credit card in that purse to make purchases at McDonald's,
Oh.
as well as the Walmart over in Dixon City.
Oh my God.
Wait, is this in
I
Pennsylvania?
heard about the Dixon
Dixon
City.
City. That's
Yeah.
where my mom was born.
Yeah,
Oh.
Go Dixon City.
because Don's from Carbondale.
Well, there you go. That's
Yeah.
where Matt's from. Matt Moratzka, Carbondale native.
I love
Oh
it. Yeah.
my gosh. Well, it was Dixon City that captured their images by surveillance as they wheeled
Oh, can you
around
see
on
Ruthie in the
scooters.
picture?
What's that?
Can you see Ruthie in the picture?
Maybe.
How funny.
Bonnie and Wide got a conscience and turned
Bonnie and
themselves
did you
in.
say Bonnie and Wide?
Yeah. Now, I have two things.
Please.
First, how far are you going on a scooter? Like, I don't feel like it's going to be a high-speed chase.
Right.
And if you stole the credit card and all you went to was Walmart and McDonald's, shouldn't she be thanking you for having shitty taste?
But is it?
Like,
I mean, what else is there
thank
to
you
do
for
in
saving.
Dixon?
Yeah, thank you for saving money while you were like
Right.
pilfering my card. Go online
What-
and buy something
What,
fancy.
what do they make off with? $45?
Isn't it shitty to steal a credit card and find out the credit limit's only $200?
You have to stay at Walmart.
Exactly.
Literally the worst.
We ran,
Yeah. See?
we ran a
Well
credit
done.
check after we stole her purse, and well, we're staying at Walmart.
High crimes there in Pennsylvania.
They never stole enough to make it an actual felony. It stayed
No.
at misdemeanor due to the victim's
I
credit
will
limit.
see you in civil court.
Yeah.
At press time, it was not clear if the scooters were rented
With that credit card?
or
With the
if
credit
they
card?
had a lawyer.
Yeah, well, they can't buy them because of the credit limit of the
That's true.
victim.
That's true.
Poor
Marnie, back
thing.
to you in the studio.
Well,
I'm
thank
victim
you very
shaming now.
much.
I'm victim shaming. That's what I've been reduced to.
Literally.
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 Make that our drinking word,
Literally.
Literally.
just to annoy people.
I like it. I like it a lot. Meow's the only one that won't be irritated, apparently. So jeans. It's all about the jeans.
Yeah, huh?
I don't know if you heard about
I thought it was all about the Benjamins, baby.
Trump's doctor.
Baby.
The jeans. I don't mean the blue jeans. I mean the
Oh.
orange ones.
Or the
I
Reverend.
was hoping this was a nice dungarees story.
I know.
Well, it's a dumbass story. I don't know. So, Ronnie, you know, everybody has
Can't
a
decide how to
doctor
spell
named
his name.
Ronnie Jackson. Yeah, that's right. Is the presidential physician.
He is.
And he told the press that the dumpster fire is in excellent health. Excellent health. Despite not exercising, because he has incredibly good genes. Incredibly good genes. That didn't fall down to Eric, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Jackson
Skips a
answered.
generation.
Right.
Well, Ivanka
Answered-
fucked that up.
Totally. Answered a battery of questions Tuesday about the president's health, and after examining him on Friday, he came up with the fact that this guy is just spot on.
A-okay.
Oh,
Yep.
better than that. Biglier than that.
Ship
Big
shape.
bear.
I don't think he went overboard in
Spit
his.
I don't think so at all. No. Especially when he said, I think that this president could go on live to be 200. You're right. He didn't go way overboard or
He
anything.
literally said that?
Can you explain to me how a guy, that
Ironically.
Jonathan Carl asked, a reporter, can you explain to me how a guy who eats McDonald's and fried chicken and all the Diet Cokes and who never exercises is in as good as shape as you say he's in?
It's the Diet Coke. It solves all the problems.
And a
Yeah, aspartame does it.
the doctor's blunt answer to the question stunned the reporters in the room. It's called genetics. Some people just have great genes. He said, I told the president if he had a healthier diet over the last 20 years, he might live to be 200 years old. I mean, he has incredible genes. If I didn't watch what I ate, he said, I wouldn't have the cardiac and overall health he has. So he's very healthy despite those things. And I don't think that he does that anymore. I mean, he's in the White House now. He's eating what what the chefs are cooking for him now. And they're cooking a much healthier diet for him now. We're going to continue to work on that and make that even healthier. I would say the answer to your question is he has incredibly good genes. And that it's the way, ready? God made him.
Yes.
Literally,
Yes.
it's the way God made him, as a quote.
Now there is something to genetics helping you through
Sure.
cholesterol problems, through blood pressure problems. Fat as I am, due to the genetic makeup, like I don't have cholesterol problems, I don't have hypertension,
Right.
don't have diabetes, but I eat like I have all three of those things. You know what I mean? Like,
Stop it.
no, I don't make good food choices. It's the honest to God truth. But genetics is helping me out, and my primary care human, even though I just switched, the new one said the same thing.
Okay.
He's like, that you need to lose weight. Like, this is just genetics that's
Sure.
getting you through this far.
So he's not blind. Okay.
Yeah, like but it's one
Mine
of those.
says the same thing.
Yeah, but I have no problems with blood pressure.
Sure.
I have no problems with blood sugar, but I should.
Sure.
Because I think a dozen bagels and 13 shrimp tacos for lunch is just a good idea.
It's a Tuesday.
I don't disagree.
So, I mean, there
Yeah.
is something, I mean,
I-
to that argument that a guy with, like, white genes is going to be a little bit better at cholesterol, is going to get away with some mistakes that someone of color
Sure.
or of,
Absolutely.
like, Native American descent is not going to.
You mean like our president would say, the people from the shithole?
The shitholes,
Yes.
yeah.
Now,
Literally.
I was at my
Literally.
desk when he came on talking today. When he came on, I wheeled back and I watched because I'm like, okay, I want to see what he says. Now, I was a little concerned. He talks very fast. Like he was trying to get through everything. Just very quick, like it was crazy.
Well, he was told to answer every question.
So I thought that. Now, I didn't think he was over the top with, like, I thought he went through all of the benchmarks of all the panels that they took of him and everything. But I literally cringed when he used the word genes.
Yeah.
I cringed because I'm like, motherfuck, now he's going to be, that's
Yeah.
why we need more white people. I
Yeah.
literally thought that. But I just didn't think, I don't think the doctor uses words like, whatever, exceptional.
Exceedingly
There were some of
well,
those, and not one
exceptional.
fucking person asked him, did you put out that statement and spell your own name wrong? Why didn't anybody ask
I know,
that?
that should have been everyone's first
Everybody's
question.
first question should have been that. But I don't remember, and I'm sure there's footage somewhere. Did this same doctor ever come out with Bush or with Obama and do a press conference and give the results? I don't. It probably is somewhere. I would just like to compare his talking then
Sure.
and now, because I just feel like, people that are lying usually are very fast and just want to skim right over everything, blah, 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 blah,
Yep.
just to get through it.
Sure.
But I don't know. It was interesting to listen to that whole thing. And here's my other question, and follow me on this. He's 6'3",
Yep.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
6'3", right? And they say he's 239 pounds.
Correct.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
Now,
that's what they say.
right. Now,
Yeah.
listen. So this, Jay Cutler, is 6'3" and 233.
Yep.
Trump is 6'3" and 239. Now, you cannot tell me that is an...
People wear it differently.
whatever.
6'3" and 239 would be
A rail.
on a trimmer, the trimmer
Right.
side.
I am 6 foot tall and I weigh 280 to 285. I am not the Dolphins guy in this picture, obviously, but there's no way he is 239 pounds.
I would completely agree with you.
I don't know what the fuck that is. That's
That one ass cheek weighs 239
Right.
pounds.
clearly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the other good news.
Wait, is
the
Mike
other
Bentley your
really-
cousin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's my Aunt Susie's son. He lives in our house back home. Why?
No, he's who I'm talking to on YouTube. And
Oh, my cousin
Oh,
Mike.
God.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike. That
didn't-
makes better sense.
Oh, I didn't realize
I
who
knew
Mike was.
I knew I had heard the name before, but I couldn't
Yes.
place it. And then I looked through his pictures.
Yes, that's my cousin Michael.
No.
Well, and if we can, because I know we are all concerned about this. We've discussed the fact that the dumpster fire is not all there, right? Like,
Right.
But according to Ronnie, Doc Ronnie, his cognitive health is it's just fine. It's
I saw he
excellent.
passed the "Are you an
It-
idiot?"
well,
test. Yeah.
30 out of 30. He passed
Oh, and I have
the,
a
"Are you an
question
idiot?"
about that too.
Yeah, because that and you know, Trump.
That's fine.
There you have it. Trump regularly speaks his mind, and Jackson found no reason whatsoever to think the president has any issues
Because he can still identify a banana.
whatsoever with
And
his
he's-
thought process.
he's-
Well, because
But there are a
God
lot
made
of
him
it
that way.
But a lot of it is a God-given choice to be an asshole.
Uh-huh.
He's consciously choosing to be a dick.
And has his whole life.
Oh, sure.
And
Right.
and doesn't read. So as
Oh.
we've said all the time, the difference between illiterate and choosing not to read is none.
Right.
You are
You're
you are
right.
at the same disadvantage. If you don't read and you can't read, there ain't no difference. We owe that to Doug Wilkie's father.
Well,
There is no difference, and so he's
You're right.
just as dumb as someone who can't read.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, my other
Now he
question.
can do things like find a banana on a chart, but that doesn't mean he has some idea of like the gray area or of any kind of conversation. There's no nuance coming in. He's got no empathy.
I'm pretty sure that if we would have tested, I'm just going to use names, just random. If you'd have taken the Son of Sam and you'd have taken Manson and you'd even
Dahmer.
taken Hitler, Dahmer,
Dahmer was supposedly
I would.
brilliant.
I'm going to bet you
Bundy was
that
brilliant.
all of these crazy wackos could have probably figured out the banana or done all this shit or whatever their cognitive does.
oh
they were
no, many of them are high functioning.
right. They're all high
Oh,
functioning.
Like Bundy?
So there's no reason we're not.
Right. They're bright, and what makes them appealing? No one's. I'm sorry, but the orange dumpster fire in a white windowless van is not going to get women and children in the back of that van because he looks like a fucking creeper.
Yeah.
The thing that those other people had was charisma.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's what's lacking. Is you have a bright personality, and then you add the charisma that gets people to have the compassion back for you that makes them like, sure, why not get into a van and drive into a
Let's go
lonely,
kill people
a
in
dark
California.
road, or, of course, let's make this bad decision.
Yeah.
It's because there's something compelling which he just doesn't have. It's lacking.
Oh, absolutely doesn't
And
have
and no empathy for another human being.
at all.
Because if you're
At
not a
all.
rich white guy, he doesn't know what you're talking
Well,
about.
and he's not even. He's an imbecile. And Clayton, when you said that you didn't think he went too far over the top, the fit for duty is where I went, but thought it was over the top.
Yeah, fit for duty to what?
Well, no,
Pick up dog
Jackson,
food?
after spending 4 hours with Trump and evaluating his test scores, said Trump, quote, absolutely he is fit for duty, unquote. But then he took it a step further, and this is where I had the problem. I think he will remain fit for duty for the remainder of this term, and even the remainder of another term if he is elected. How can you... I thought
Now
that was a
let's
bit too
all
much.
let's all talk to him again in a week and a half when Trump drops dead of a heart attack.
Or when
Just-
Trump fires him because of something.
Right, and the problem with some of these is you don't show up, your scores don't show up, you look it on paper because of the genetics, and then you just drop fucking dead. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Then the Widowmaker shuts down that no one saw coming.
Sure. Well, and it just doesn't, him being fit in the mind, no. And he's going to be fit for this term and another term.
I think
At
if he was
least
intellectually
another 6-7
curious in
years.
any way, he could fix some of this. But he's not. And he's 70, so he's not, or 71. The desire to change is gone.
Oh, absolutely gone.
Yep.
I don't know that
completely
it
agree.
ever existed in him, but when everyone who meets you describes you as illiterate, the picture is painted.
And all you have to do is go back and listen to interviews from him as a celebrity man. He's an idiot. I mean, he hasn't. This isn't like he just kind of took this on or hit a certain age maybe that at 60 or something like.
Oh.
Then it changed.
No, Designing
No.
Women has a joke about him about like
You said
I
this, but I don't
don't
remember.
care who Donald Trump is dating, and this is like 1989. Like he was on everyone's radar our whole lives
as an idiot.
And the Central Park West case, like the Central Park 5 case, that was so glaring, and that's where I was like, who is this douche? Like that's my introduction to him, is like, who the fuck is this guy taking out an ad in the New York Times condemning people? Like what asswipe does that?
Right.
And then when
Ugh.
they were proven innocent, still said, well, they should be killed anyway.
Yeah.
What? What?
So,
Well, they can't be up to any good. What are they doing in the park?
well, they're black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, according to him.
I mean, and it was very similar to the things where everybody was Satan worshiping, where they came up with a word. I can't remember what it was called, but there was a word that wilding was the word that they made up for like what teenagers were doing in the park. It was wilding.
Oh.
And of course, then they were all of a sudden guilty of wilding. And I'm like, okay, you just made that fucking word up.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I don't know. It's all fucked up.
Yes. So, anyway, the end.
All right. So, that's my mailbox, not my thing. So, the Air Force expelled. The barracks were thick with anxious whispers and rumors, but she figured there was nothing incriminating about leaving the airbase for a sandwich. On a Friday night in 1955, Airman Second Class Helen Grace James and another female service member left the field after work for dinner in a nearby town. The place was too crowded to sit down, so after getting food, the two drove to the wooded area south of where Hampton Harbor stabs into Long Island. They found a quiet spot to eat. James cut the engine. She was reaching for her sandwich when flashlight beams ignited the car interior. Air police from the base. They had been followed. They asked us what we were doing, James recently told the Washington Post. Within a few days, James was arrested, put through hours of humiliating interrogation. The questions were so harsh and disgusting, James had to run to the latrine because she felt sick. Finally, after an interrogator threatened to go to her family, she relented. She said she would sign whatever they wanted. Her military career was over when she inked her name on the document March 3rd, 1955. She received an undesirable discharge from the Air Force. The experience was not isolated, part of a large and ugly chapter in American history. So she was subjected to a military investigation because she was a lesbian. If she was a lesbian, the U.S. military did not want her in uniform. Long before Don't Ask, Don't Tell, in an era spiked with Cold War paranoia and McCarthyism, the government and military systematically rooted out service members like James. It was a time known as the Lavender Scare, which I'm sorry, but that sounds delightful.
Are we talking the color?
Yeah,
the sense?
Yeah, exactly. Like Lavender Scare. Don't tempt me with a good time, sir. James went on to a very successful life after the military, but she never fully pulled free from the experience. Now at 90 and living in California, she's fighting to right the historical wrong with a federal lawsuit against the U.S. Air Force. The complaint asked the court to upgrade her discharge to honorable, thus restoring the California woman's rights and honor as a veteran. It has crippled her throughout her life, James' attorney says. This is really so she's not treated as a second-class citizen anymore. The Air Force Press Office declined to comment on the current lawsuit. The anti-gay witch hunt ran parallel to fears of communist infiltration, and Joe McCarthy launched the Red Scare, which is with the Lavender Scare because you were afraid of pinks, so the lavender were the gays and outing gays. A steady stream of bipartisan rhetoric associating homosexuality with communism. Both were secretive, worldwide coalitions of aliens scheming to destroy America and undermine family values, which is the first time I've heard that put together. So it's just exciting that all this time later, now that they're allowed, Don't Ask, Don't Tell is gone, she's coming back and suing. Like, I want my
wants her veterans
discharge
benefits,
made honorable.
Good.
She's at an age where benefits may not last for too long, but she can be buried with military rights and treated with the respect she deserves for serving her country and serving them well and just being part of some just stupid-ass witch hunt based on lies and prejudice.
She still can't get a cake made, but I get it.
Right. I mean, that's a whole different argument.
And if she has her wedding, do not order from Vistaprint.
No, I mean, she's going to get pamphlets. She's going to get the wrong cake.
Sure. It's going to be a fucking mess.
But I just think at 90, and sprightly for 90, I would send you the picture, but it's in the Washington Post has been pushing the story all day. And there's a charming photo of her in all of her glory with her service pictures. Take a look.
She looked like a lesbian.
Give her a fucking fridge and she gets all bitchy.
She might fit a stereotype or two.
Some of us do.
Some.
I'm not saying her girlfriend of 2 days is living with her, but
that's not every lesbian.
And they're raising a cat together.
Yeah.
3 cats.
Her secret friend.
Yeah.
Yours, mine, and ours.
My who you were chatting with in the YouTube room, my cousin Mike sent a link to the Montreal Cognitive Assessment.
I just signed up.
Oh, did you?
Oh, can we all take it?
Well, I'll send it to you. But here, I just want to show you on the screen. These are some of the images that you have to go through. You have to pick out. I guess you have to draw the cube. You have to draw a clock. You do things. There's animals you have to identify.
Horse, dog, pig, chicken.
Giraffe.
There's some other things. So I guess this is the.
I'm activating my account right now.
Okay.
So, just so you know.
Let us. Can you send us all a link,
Yeah,
Marnie? Do
yeah.
it. Do it in the Facebook so I can do it.
I sure will.
Yeah. So thanks, Mike, for doing that. I don't know where
Yeah,
Mike is.
thanks,
Mike, if he's, are you home? Text me, Mike. I don't
No,
know-
he's in a hotel in White Plains. We've already discussed this.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I didn't care so much before I knew it was my cousin.
Right, exactly.
So he's on a corporate trip. He's in back. God, it's cold as hell there. I'm sure. Jeezy Pete's. So he's in a hotel, bored off his ass. So sorry, Mike.
It's chilly here too. What is it? 65 right now.
Oh yeah, it's so
that's
cold.
mean.
Brr.
Mike,
Oh, it's 62. My gosh.
Mom sends me text messages daily of the temperature at your house in Joplin and your mother's house at the lake. So it's just like having a weather app on my phone. It's lovely. Are you done with your story about the lesbian? Can I go on?
About the
Yeah.
You looked at Marnie when you answered like she's the lesbian you're talking about.
I don't know about
Oh, I can see the
Margarine.
resemblance.
I see it. I do.
Well, no,
She
this
had that gray
story,
in her hair.
Yeah.
this story, and I
I
think
still don't have any.
I think Kat will appreciate this story because Kat is
I'm all ears.
You're a whiz with electronics. I know you're stifled right now
Oh,
because of your
I'm
screen.
Suffering over
Kat
here.
has done many videos. I've enjoyed. You're very
I need to
crafty.
do some more,
You've got
sure.
graphics flying in and things doing.
Very busy.
You've also done a lot of work with Photoshop. I've seen you do some of that.
Occasionally,
Now,
sure, yeah.
it's a fact of life that nice family photos. Well, family photos never go viral. They just don't because who really gives a shit about you and Nana and the three little kids?
Not
Doesn't
good
matter.
ones, anyway.
Right. Well, as one family in St. Louis has discovered, they do go viral. Pam and Dave Zaring hired a photographer, or who they believed to be a photographer, to take what they assumed would be lovely family photos. Well, they received the final prints. They were shocked, very much so shocked, because the images, well, they'd been retouched. They'd been, cleaned up, touched.
Sometimes
and,
I appreciate a little
sure,
retouching.
I-
Yeah.
Were they touched beforehand?
No.
Just one time on the doll.
Listen, Delary,
I'll
stick
need
a
to-
wig.
I don't think I don't have copies of the. I don't have the copies of the before, just
I
the
see.
after.
All right.
And I agree. Well, all my headshots have been professionally cleaned up.
Dear
Well,
Ion AZ,
they were
please
retouched to the point where the family looks more like Legos or robots rather than humans. Really, the 8-year-old son named Connor couldn't believe what he was seeing. He actually told the Inside Edition TV program, "I was thinking, like, what the heck is this?" The kid said. Pam Zaring was also shocked, especially after she paid $250 to a person who claimed to be a professional photographer. It was too funny to keep to themselves, she said. We laughed until we cried. Her husband said, "So here are the pictures of the family." Now remember, I don't have befores. I only have afters. This is a little retouching of a family doing some family photos.
Oh my God.
So there's that.
They look so lifelike.
Yeah. I don't know what in the hell this person thinks that they're pulling off
Wow.
by being able, like, this is your retouch. These look like, remember the dolls that we were looking at, the fake sex dolls that we were showing a few weeks ago?
Oh, yeah.
That reminds me of those faces.
Wow.
There's just no personality there at all. I mean, like mother, like son in this
It's
picture,
some
but
scary ass fucking teeth.
wow. Yeah, oh yeah, none of the teeth are good.
No.
I'm pretty sure he drew like a select circle around the face and then used the Photoshop filter posterize.
Oh, but it's just, that's sad. That's just horribly sad. And I just can imagine, you think you're getting a good photographer and that's what you wind up with. So
Terrifying.
be careful
Although,
out there.
to be fair, that family might be fugly like that.
That might be an
This
upgrade.
might be a noted improvement.
That could be.
That really might be an upgrade.
That really could
Now,
be.
the Zarings noted in their post that the photographer blamed the botched pics on the fact that they were taken on a sunny day, which made for really awful shadows. Also, the photographer claimed her professor never taught her how to retouch photos properly.
That literally has nothing to do with the sun. And I use that properly.
Oh, my gosh.
Update on the Montreal Cognitive Assessment Test.
Yeah, did you
How'd
fail?
you do?
Aside from one memory question where you have to remember 5 words, this is meant for like a first grader.
Right.
This does not prove fitness to do.
But
Anything?
do you want the
Anything.
full test? Do you want the basic test? Do you want the blind test?
What is that?
The
What-
blind one?
No. The single sheet.
Or the mini.
What's that? Is that the mini? What's the
me
single
look.
sheet? Because that's all I got.
I mean, the 30 questions are like find the relationship to A1, B2, C3, 4D, 5E. Did you you find it yet?
Yeah, I already know it.
Yeah. The second one is draw this picture again.
He needs the MMPI is what he needs.
Draw a clock showing 10 past 11. What are we at? First grade, second grade?
Yeah.
Second grade.
Name a lion, a rhinoceros, and a camel. Then you have to remember 5 words, and you get 2 chances. We're going to come back in 5 minutes for that one. Read list of digits and have them repeat the digits to you. What does this have to do with whether or not you'd have the nuclear code? This tells me whether or not I can trust you to carry your sandwich to school and still have it at noon.
Get on the right bus. Maybe.
The shorter one.
Repeat the phrase. Are you ready? Repeat the phrase. I only
that's
know
being
that John
polite.
is the one to help today.
John is going to help today.
Oh, John. Good John.
So you have to. But
I
you
don't
said
think I
no.
know John.
You
I was
repeated it.
kidding.
Yeah,
I
she
know.
repeated it wrong.
Yeah,
The
that
cat always hid under the couch when dogs were in the room. This is the test. Abstraction. You need to find the similarity between 2 things. An example would be banana and orange. Oh no, they're both fruit. Train and bicycle.
That was a funny joke in Big Fat Greek Wedding too. The
So-
both fruit.
The
both
short,
fruit, yeah.
the Mocha Mini is a short 5-minute version of the Mocha test, and it covers mostly memory and executive functions. Maybe that's where they got confused. They saw the executive functions, and that maybe I don't know.
well, now at the time,
But it's not here
And then the
yet.
last question is: Do you know what the date is today and what city you're in?
Don't they ask you that when you have a concussion?
Yeah.
yeah.
Or wake up
Like
from?
this is the test. This is nothing about like. Tell me something like.
Okay, so
Interesting about
so
North
based on the
Korea.
news conference that we saw or I saw earlier today, where he was giving out, and he told everybody you can find it online.
Well,
It's
at
all
least
there.
he
It's all there.
passed this one. Like
Hang
I
on.
Right,
said,
I mean,
Yeah, valid.
good.
glass
Now,
half full here, people.
I'm
He
curious-
passed this
so
test.
I'm curious to watch the shows later that are being recorded now, based on the fact that now that the conference is over and everybody's gone and pulled up this test and realized that it's for a 5-year-old.
Right.
yeah,
What are the comments going to be now?
that he's a 5-year-old.
Thank God he passed this test.
Maybe
we knew he
that's
was a
it.
I think
5-year-old.
Rachel
but
Maddow will be like, we didn't give him enough credit.
Mike, I
He's
hope
five."
that you've taken the time to take this test while you're in the hotel room in New York.
Well,
Can we
that-
put it in the chat room? Can our friends take the
well,
test?
right now I'm still trying to pull up the Mocha test full, and it's saying Safari can't find that page.
Oh, I'm
So-
on it. I'm on the 30 questions. 30
Al's
points.
using it, so
That's
when
the
he's done,
full-
you
Let
can
me
have a turn.
let me
Yeah.
put it in the. Let
you
me put,
just answered. We just went through all 30.
Okay.
That was it. That's how he's fit.
I'm going to copy this link and put it in the.
And what is that
chat
was
room.
drawn in Microsoft Paint Windows 98 edition. What does that mean?
So that means that's really old, really
Yeah,
like
Windows 98. We're in 20.
bad
So
technology.
this test that I'm looking at, he's commenting about this.
No, he's commenting about the family Photoshop.
Oh, I gotcha.
Microsoft Paint is a really rudimentary
gotcha.
photo software
Yeah, very.
that came stock with Microsoft 95 and Microsoft 98, which both appeared in years very adjacent to those, because I'm pretty sure they premiered in different years than those.
Well,
Anyway,
they're probably the future. So in 97, you got Microsoft 98, the future.
that's kind of right how it went.
The link I just put in the chat room, however, is the link that my cousin sent me that I showed a picture of. That's the page of the test that I believe Dingleberry took today.
Is there an online
last
version
week,
we
I'm sorry.
can take?
Yes.
Okay.
Get the Mocha test app. It says.
She's a, and my mom uses what's it called, Lumosity? Is that the one mom uses? Where,
Oh, that's
Lumosity one.
fun.
yeah,
With
mom
the
uses
little
that. She
games.
loves those
Oh
games.
yeah, and it's important to do those. Keep up your fitness, but not what's the date today. That's not.
She knows that.
Yeah.
Well, mom doesn't care. She's retired.
My grandma plays Words with Friends with like 100 people.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and cheats.
Yeah.
Don't think she doesn't cheat.
Oh.
Always has. Always has.
Always has.
So
Well, you know, when I was a little kid, because we always played like board games and shit like that when we were kids and
Yeah.
card games. And you have to check grandma's math.
Oh.
And no, she's not allowed to just look this one word up in
Yeah.
the dictionary. That's not allowed.
yeah.
That's cheating.
And she doesn't use words like onomatopoeia a lot. So come on, Grandma.
Right. And then she'd pull the whole.
I don't know how
oh,
to spell it, but God, do I love to use that word.
Well, you wouldn't beat your old grandma, would you? The fuck we
Yeah.
wouldn't, Grandma.
do
Yes,
that.
we will.
That's part of the joy.
You're
So
cheating,
there's-
and I won. Sit down, Grandma.
Sit down,
that
lady.
almost got real vulgar. I almost went to Hamilton, and I was like, no, I don't know your grandmother. It seems
There are
wrong.
apparently scores
She's
on
lovely. You'd
here.
like her.
Consult the latest education and age-based norms for the test. Average scores for normal, mild cognitive impairment, and Alzheimer's.
But hashtag
Test
winning.
reset. No, but that way we could find out about Dick Bag.
Yeah.
You know, if it were actually.
I want to
true.
take all those tests. In fact,
Well, I have the one that he scored 30 out of 30 on, so that's the test that I just went over.
and as the doctor was rattling off everything today about this, that, and the other, whatever panel on this thing and that, I want to go through all those tests. I want all of them.
All of them.
I want all of them. I want to
Alright.
go through all of it.
All the tests.
All the things.
Can I have more pistachios, please? Cat Carlson, your story.
Your story, crap.
Here.
Oh, I have a second story. Oh, that's right. I thought we
Yeah.
were farther along than we were.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, no. We're a windy people.
It's painful regardless of however.
I even moved it up in the queue because I was like, oh, I must have already done that.
You better do it. I have a picture saved.
That's true. Well, in Florida, we love Florida. Interesting
Oh
things
my
happen in
God,
Florida.
yes.
Florida is also known to have some of the most difficult golf courses in the U.S.
Oh.
True. Lots of different hazards, sand traps and water traps. And, a group playing at the golf club at Fiddler's Creek this last Friday ran into an interesting hazard on the 10th hole.
His name is Donald Trump.
No, he only plays at his own golf courses.
Oh, my bad.
That's right. That's a valid
No,
point.
this one's a pretty serious hazard. This one's an alligator and a Burmese python
Look at that.
Oh, God.
locked in battle while golfers
Tail
played
is
nearby.
old as time, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
The snake twisted around the alligator, the python's tail sitting right in the alligator's mouth. Although surprised, golfer by the name of Richard Nadler, unfortunate.
Yeah.
Dick Nadler. How you doing, Dick Nadler?
Right. Dick Nadler and his friends decided to
I hit him in the
play
Nadlers.
through as the two creatures from the animal kingdom seemed more interested in themselves and not so much the birdies and eagles, which those are golf terms.
That's cute. That's
Yeah,
cute.
bad golf puns.
That's bad. It's true.
Nadler, still unfortunate, said he never expected the response to his photos on social media. Apparently it's gone, I don't know, like more than 10 people saw it.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah.
That's big.
For real, it's more than the show.
Yeah.
He says,
rude.
alligators.
Yeah, I know, right?
Untrue. He says, quote, alligators are an everyday thing around here. Having them fight for their life and so on is a bigger thing. But the comments that I read, it was very interesting, he told his local television station. Now, the big question on everyone's mind was, who won?
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Right?
Yep.
Local affiliate WFTS,
Finger on the pulse.
right?
Nice.
Reached out to the golf course, but Fiddler's Creek management declined comments.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't think we want to advertise the fact that there's an alligator and a python
Which one got massacred?
battling to the end somewhere around hole 10.
Don't know. I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Because one of them's going to be hungry again.
Look out.
May I just?
World, you may.
I feel like the python's going to get hit squeezing the alligator. I don't know. I don't think it comes out good for the alligator.
I don't
I
think
mean,
it
the
comes out
python.
good for either one of them, really.
This little mocha test, as far as administered, the test may be administered by anyone who understands and follows the instructions.
Yeah.
The end.
Real tough.
You can also rebuild an
I'm a
engine of a
doctor.
car as long as you understand the instructions.
Oh,
and the-
right. I mean, and I'm allowed to sit in the emergency.
But that's what you're going to have down to
Exit seat.
this? Oh, my
I can vacuum my house if I read the instructions to the fucking vacuum.
You can do so many things if you just read.
My God.
Sorry,
And what
Kat,
does he
I'm
not
sorry.
do?
No, you're fine.
Doesn't read.
No.
By the Fourth Amendment, he was pulling his lip and rolling his eyes. So we're
Yeah.
done.
I like that you think he made it that far.
No, that's what they said
Oh.
in the book. They were reading the Bill of Rights,
Oh, okay.
and he was like, they got like to the fourth one, and he's all like, I'm bored and a lot, and he was rolling his eyes and
He
shit.
gets really fidgety, yeah.
No,
And you really need the Fifth Amendment if you're him. So that's kind of
He should pay
ironic.
attention.
literally.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like Alanis Morissette ironic or real ironic?
Real ironic.
All right.
There's that.
So
Donald Trump stopping before the Fifth Amendment. Kind of ironic.
I feel like changing my story from Kim Kardashian.
I would appreciate that.
All right.
Big time. Actually, it was just the first name I saw. But we're going to do a story for Annette about that prince that he was talking about last week.
Oh, yeah. Gay prince.
Prince Ali. Fabulous he.
Alibaba.
Alibaba.
India's gay prince
love
opens
the
his
monkeys.
palace
I love the monkeys.
to vulnerable LGBTQ people. And I would butcher the name. Oh, why not?
He's generous. So generous.
Manvendra Singh Gohil.
Yeah.
I like it.
I feel like that's similar to
Says
what I
he'll
said
offer
last week.
rooms, a medical facility, and job assistance. How about this guy? The only openly
He's
gay
generous.
prince
So generous.
in India, where same-sex relations are illegal, is throwing open his palace doors to lesbians, gays, transgender, and other Indians shunned by their sexuality. Prince MSG,
Yeah.
heir apparent to the throne, of, oh, for goodness sake, Rajpipla? Would that be close at all? Anyone?
I'll allow it.
All right,
Judges?
thank you. Judges rule.
Yes.
In Western, heaven's sake, state, said it was particularly hard to come out in small town India, where traditional values hold sway and heterosexual relations are the norm. People still face a lot of pressure from their families when they come out, being forced to marry or thrown out of their homes. They often have nowhere to go, no means to support themselves. The prince is 52 years old and is building a center for LGBTQ on the grounds of his palace. I'm not going to have children, so I thought, why not use this place for a good purpose?
Oh, that's wonderful.
Really wonderful. And the medical facility, offering the rooms, a medical facility, and training in English and vocational skills to help people find jobs. He came out to his family more than a decade ago, prompting his mother to take out a newspaper advertisement disowning him. Wow. Erstwhile royalty in India are still in the spotlight, many holding positions in the government. After coming out, he set up a charity, and again, I forgive me for mispronouncing, but Lakshya, it looks like Lakshya Trust, a charity for LGBT people in his conservative home state. And then he became a champion for gay rights. He has made numerous international appearances, including the Oprah Winfrey Show, where she's running for president, and he's her vice president. He is a vocal critic of India's colonial-era law that criminalized consensual sexual relations between same-sex adults. Earlier this week, the country's top court said it would reconsider the 2013 decision to uphold the law. Lifting the law would encourage more people to come out and live their lives freely, but it may also mean more people in need of support, I'm sure.
Yeah, and Nan says, let's start with the 24/7 hotline for the vulnerable communities, and that's needed everywhere.
Big time. Oh, I would agree. He said he is renovating and extending the palace, which was built in 1927 on the 15-acre site, installing solar panels for power and reserving some land for organic farming. I just think that's fantastic.
I do too.
It sounds like lots of really great things that he's trying to do. And not having children, and if you have that kind of money, and absolutely.
Disposable
So,
income. There's an upside to the no kids.
and if nothing else,
Now
Anant,
you
I
tell
don't know
me.
how far
I know.
away that is, but
And
well, look
Nan
at
says he's
that.
met him.
How wonderful. How come he has another name? He has another name that I had to really try to pronounce, and it didn't go well.
No, that's what you said.
Go Hill. Go Hill.
Oh, yeah. You missed.
G-O-H-I-L?
He had a middle name. Or a last name.
A last name? Okay. Yeah, so anyway, I just thought that was wonderful. And
Yeah,
when I
that
saw
is.
that, it was right after we got done with the show last week, and I found it. So thank you for letting us know about that, Anant.
And if he's looking for a husband, he sounds like a hell of a guy.
I'm saying, catch.
And neither one of us want children, so it's a match made in heaven.
Look at that.
How does he feel about show tunes?
He looks like he would love them.
You just got to learn to sleep
Yeah.
during them.
Yep. So, but thank you,
There's
Anant.
a lot of shows that you can take a good nap in the second act. I'm just saying.
Well, and that
A lot of
the
people
first
do-
song after is the throwaway anyway in the second
Oh,
act,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Because no
Yeah,
one's back
you-
from the bathroom yet.
You get
Quite
through
frankly, people do that with this one, I think. Literally.
It's not a bad idea.
the nap time right now.
It's not the worst idea.
Act 2 opener is always a throwaway song. We've said it for years.
I
and it
still
makes it
enjoy
true.
it. But
Oh,
then,
no,
but then I sleep.
I'm not saying it's not a terrific song.
No.
It's just one that you don't need for the plot motivation.
Oh, for sure,
Because
sure.
people are coming
Yeah,
back
yeah.
from the bathroom.
But then after that
Thank you,
number, which
Annette.
is usually a pretty big number, then I can take a little bit of a nap for about
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Then we got to get to
Right.
the climax and the denouement.
Literally.
So, yes, exactly. Firefighter spent an hour working to release a YouTube prankster who cemented his head inside a microwave.
Oh no.
Jay Swingler, 22, and a group of friends mixed 7 bags of polyphila
Sure.
and gas. Oh, I'm burpy. Before they poured it around his head, which was protected by a plastic bag inside the appliance. Their intention was to use the microwave as a mold, but by the time emergency services were called at 1:49 p.m. on Wednesday to the garage of the house in Ford House's Wolverhampton West Mids clearly this is foreign. The group had already been trying to free him for 90 minutes.
Oh my god.
The friends had managed to feed an air tube into the man's head to help him breathe. Swingler, who helped turn the TGFB Bros channel, was identified as the YouTuber last night. A 10-minute video of the incident has so far gained 865,000 views. I was panicking and I was telling my friends that I was about to die, Swingler says of the incident in the video. Watch Commander Sean Dakin, officer in charge of the West Midlands Fire Service crew, who responded and said, "As funny as this sounds, this young man could quite easily have suffocated or been seriously injured. You think? You poured cement into your head in a microwave oven. Really? Dangerous?
It doesn't do anything.
Don't eat the Tide
No,
Pods."
back here. I had that. It's fine.
It seems legit. No. It's literally not dangerous.
So,
Literally not.
with it on his head,
Literally.
with cement and a tube for breathing, the microwave was taken apart and described as a tricky process. We video called our technical rescue colleagues for advice and eventually managed to get him unstuck. He was relieved when he removed a large chunk of the polyfilla with a screwdriver, allowing him to breathe more easily. But we had to be extremely careful with the screwdriver, working so closely to his head. I don't think there's anything you're going to hit in the head that's going to be damaged at all by
Let
a
the air out.
screwdriver.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's it.
Fair
You know
point.
what I'm thinking?
Other gems from their YouTube channel include: we took a bath in lemon juice with open wounds.
Oh, God.
Oh,
I
Jesus.
set myself in Jello overnight. Parenthetically, got stuck. So this is apparently a thing that they do. We spent the night buried in solid concrete, which is actually really dangerous because as it dries, it like dehydrates you. It sucks all the water out of you.
Okay.
There was a CSI or some Criminal Minds, I think.
I think it's
about that. I don't know.
osmosis or something that
It
describes
doesn't matter. It kills you. Dead.
that.
dead,
Handheld
dead.
fireworks shootout. Is that on there?
Oh, there's handheld fireworks shootout. There's an entire bathing series. Apparently, they bathed in salt and ice, deep heat. They bathed in chocolate. They bathed in nettles.
What are
there-
nettles?
I don't know.
like prickers, like
Oh.
thistles.
Oh.
They bathed in spaghetti.
Oh, that-
And vomit alert on that one.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
Why?
Vomit alert. I don't know. Maybe somebody puked.
Ew.
Oh, mm-mm.
Yeah, maybe they do things that would make you puke. I don't really know.
Oh, that's disgusting.
That's really what I'm gonna do for the rest of the afternoon. Yeah. So, nice show, guys. I'm
Wow.
gonna have to watch these idiots.
So there you go. Don't cement your head and stick it in a microwave.
Please don't.
That's just sound advice.
Please
It
don't.
is, it
Please
is.
don't try this at home.
There's like upside downside to all things
Oh.
like technological.
I have breaking
know.
news.
Oh,
I just found out at like 8:58 Arizona time. I fucking love pistachios. I never had them
I
before.
love pistachios.
You've
For
never had
real?
pistachios?
God damn,
Oh my
those
God,
are
pistachios
tasty.
are really some of my favorites.
I
ever.
never had a pistachio before.
Please enjoy more.
Oh, I have. I think I've eaten
there
my
goes
body
your
weight.
allowance.
There you go.
Are they pricey?
Yeah, they're not cheap. They're not pine nuts. But
Oh,
they're
and
not cheap.
Bitcoin sinks 20%. So if
It
you
did,
if you
that's right.
invested in something
Did
imaginary,
not.
I did. I put $10 into Litecoin and now it's $7.
Yeah.
It's
that's
killing
just
me.
solid math.
Well, since we've
No,
re-
because I'm super entertained by the whole like Bitcoin,
Oh
and
yeah.
I wish I had understood it sooner, because it's totally a thing that I would have gone for and figured out how to do like the mining and stuff, but I just didn't understand it sooner. So I recently like downloaded an app and I was like, yeah, it's $10. Let's watch this thing and see what happens with it.
And there's an episode of The Big Bang Theory about it too.
Is it really?
Uh huh.
Yeah, I really wish I had understood it like 2 years ago when everybody else wishes they understood it. But yeah, my $10 has become $7 so far. Wait, let's check. There's an app for
Note
that.
to self.
you
no
still
Bitcoin.
can't buy a new Surface.
Oh my god, now it's $6.51.
God damn it! It's like people are finding out it's not a real thing.
And now, like, I don't have Bitcoin. There are other not real things that you can buy.
Ananda's
So there's
breaking news,
Bitcoin,
so
which
I
is
don't
the most expensive, and has taken the worst losses. My god, it's down to $10,000. Then there's Ethereum,
yeah.
and then there's Litecoin, which is what I bought because I was like, you know, I'm on kind
I'm
of
a
a coin.
trendsetter.
I'm on
Like
kind of a
Bitcoin.
coin diet.
I'm a
right?
trendsetter.
All right.
Yeah. So now I have $6.51 worth of Litecoins
Okay.
that I paid $10 for.
Okay. Okay.
I'm very excited.
Kat had sent me a picture of something I had kind of forgotten about that was happening tonight. I ran into a friend a week or so ago and was invited to do their podcast. And clearly can't be in two places at once because, well, that's just not possible. There was a local group here in town, part of our, it's called the Parsons Center for Wealth, the HIV Center downtown. Guy that used to work at a bar down here in town at Stacy's, you've heard us talk about. He is now part of a group down there that is part of the outreach program for getting your status checked. It's for HIV and AIDS support. They do a lot of good things. It's called Ignite. That's the name of their group. I put a link in the Facebook or in our chat room to their page. He asked me to be part of their podcast or to give them advice on what to do, but they were a little earlier. They were live earlier broadcasting from downtown Phoenix. And look at them. They've got their little studio with all their mics going.
Copycats.
So I just thought that was that's pretty cool. They're doing live interactive questions and answers, which I thought was pretty good because there are some people that are not comfortable with their status. Number one, they're not out. I'm not saying you have to be a gay person to have contracted HIV, but I like the fact that they're doing this, and you can completely be anonymous. If there's a question that you want to ask, you can text message them or email them, however they have their chat room set up. Can be completely anonymous, yet still get your information. So you don't.
The support line is so important.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I just want to give them a shout out. Like I said, there's a link in the Facebook or in our chat room. They're on Facebook. It's Ignite Your Status. So if you want to give them a shout out or say hello, please do. If you've got questions, you can also message them. AJ is the one who was asking me about that. AJ, actually, I just went back to their shot. He's out of the picture at this point. He is not there. I'm not sure where he went. But anyway, pretty cool for them. I thought it was very nice that they've started up an outreach program. And I have not been down there. The last time I was at the center was 2 years ago, I believe, when I did the candlelight vigil on World AIDS Day. And they had also had the panels from the quilt there, and I got to see a bunch of panels, and some of them were locally from Phoenix from back in the day,
They
which was very
often
cool.
do on World AIDS Day with the.
They just had it
panels.
again. They just did it.
recently.
Right,
Yeah.
well, December 1st is World
When
AIDS
you were in
Day.
San
correct?
Francisco, did you go to the Remembrance Project? Is it still there?
I went to
The Names Project?
They have it. Don't they have that in the?
There's a plaque in the restaurant where one of them worked, or one of them. So they have a plaque where it was like, I guess it started in that restaurant. I guess the idea came up or whatever. We
Cleve Jones, right?
Right.
Cleve Jones.
The walking tour, we went through several places that were part of that whole deal, including underneath the window of the house where the gentleman who created the pride flag.
Oh, right.
Him too, with the original colors, and they changed it and all that other stuff. Yeah, so we saw all that.
In City Hall, they have
Didn't make it to City Hall.
a room, kind of off, whatever, in there, where you walk in and there's a whole lot of memorabilia, basically.
I just
And
because
it's
I know it used to
really-
be on
I
the
like
cast
it.
show that they had the
Kinda
Names
takes your breath
Project, the
away.
Remembrance, and you could go in and ask a name, and they could
That
if
I
they
don't know.
couldn't direct you back into their storage, they could at least show you the picture of the quilt with the person.
Oh.
Wow, no, that I didn't see, but that maybe.
Yeah, but again,
a part of
everything
City
had
Hall
to go
now.
to larger facilities. Like they were in the process of making everything a bigger facility. The last time I went with that as the goal. And Ann says the National Council of Churches in India, NCCI, has come out in favor of repealing Section 377, which makes, the boy-on-boy action illegal.
Ooh.
So it's good that
Well,
I
that's
mean,
good. Well, we talked about that. The courts were going to revisit it. We talked about that last week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he
he's
just-
saying in
it's
favor.
today.
This is today.
he's saying
Yeah, I
that
get
here,
that.
and he just told us the Section 377 hearing is actually today.
Oh,
Tomorrow,
sweet.
today on tomorrow and today.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
Sure.
And now that we've
Don't
got
spoil it for us.
now that we've got the convenience of an in-studio refrigerator, Al doesn't have to leave to get us to this next segment.
Takes a second. Don't remember where it is. So we're gonna talk about the Directors Guild Awards, some Critics' Choice Awards. I think we should hear a little bit of something from the Zombies, the Cranberries,
Yeah.
Zombie.
But they wanted-
but not Zombie,
She
the
wanted
other
to
song,
become
the
the
other song.
zombies.
And then we'll just talk about some movie stuff. But
I like movie stuff.
Good times.
All right, we'll be back
All
with
good things for
at the
those
beginning
who
of
wait.
Hour 3, Allen Entertainment. Right after this, it's Q Talk America. Stick with us, please.
If you think it sucked so far, just wait till after this 30-second dance break.
Well, the squirrels are back in the attic. Your dad won't call an exterminator. He says it's personal this time. Where are you? It's very loud there. Are you taking a Zumba class?
You're listening to Q Talk America. This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
And Hour 3 begins just like this. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's Clayton McKee and the entire cast in Studio C on a Tuesday night, as we typically are. You have managed to find us, and, well, you're the better for it. I'm pretty sure you're going to find out.
Richer for it.
Of course you are. If you've made it this far, you're going to get through the rest of it just easily. Again, I'm Clayton McKee alongside Kat Carlson, Marnie Ryer, and Al Perkins. We do a little show every Tuesday night on Q Talk America, where literally this is the only show on the network. So if you're looking for something else,
Literally.
no, not going to happen. It's just us. It's all right.
You're welcome.
Well, we could make different voices up and
We tried that. She's dialect night is what she
I
calls it.
love
She loves it.
accent day.
Well, what we're doing
He
now,
announced as a national holiday.
because he always wanted a talk show of his own, ladies and gentlemen, it's Al Perkins.
Well, hello. Do you have the song? Queued
No,
up
we're
for
not
me?
ready for. I got lots to do. So
Okay.
you talk about something
It's
else.
only been an hour since I asked. Well, she's still dead.
He's very
but so
Literally.
we'll go to Kat's obsession and box office news for the week, where rounding out the top 5 is Fox's second film in the top 5, The Greatest Showman, which continues to deliver stellar week-to-week numbers.
Because it's so fucking
Good.
good.
And the word of-
people keep going to see it 7 times.
And the word of mouth is really working strong with this one. This weekend it dipped just 14%, bringing in an estimated $14.5 million for the 4-day weekend, which should get it up to $97 million, with a budget a little bit less than that. And then you add in the international dollars, which it's making some money. Turns out Hugh Jackman is a draw. So it's made $198 million. So this movie is a big success for him.
Good.
A price tag of $84 million. So it didn't come cheap.
Sure.
But they've made over $100 million worldwide, more than they invested. So that's a hit. And hopefully, and by this next weekend, they should pass $100 million domestically, which is still the benchmark of the hit.
I want to help them. I want to go see it again.
Yeah, I mean, but it really does show the power of this movie and the power of word of mouth, and really telling someone this is a good movie, go see it in the theater. Like, take the time, see it on the big screen worthy. You know what I mean? Hits all the right notes. It's a great day
Well,
at the
and
theater.
they did the sing along gimmick for the people that can't get enough. Just this past weekend, select showings were billed as a sing along, so that you didn't feel bad when you were just
Singing
bouncing
along,
out.
right. Feel invited.
Right, and you're invited to just shriek it out as you would anyway.
And we have been told now that Hamilton is on its way to the Phoenix area, the tour is leaving LA and coming to Phoenix, that when the king sings everybody, he means everybody.
Yay!
You as an audience member are
okay.
expected to follow the command of the king because he is still your ruler in the story. And so everyone in the audience should be singing along when he says everybody.
Fantastic.
You don't have to bow or kowtow to the king, but it is important
Everybody,
that you sing along.
everybody,
Yeah.
everybody, everybody.
I don't see you working on that song choice.
I've already got it queued up, bitch. Did you say Dreams by the Cranberries? Is that what you said?
Is it ready now?
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Well, then shut up. There it is.
Beautiful voice.
I got my shit together over here. And that's probably about as much as we can play.
But we're commenting on it. We're critiquing it in its loveliness.
And that's the girl that passed away, that singer right there that we're listening to.
Yeah, and all of her beautiful voice. It is one of the best road trip songs ever made. It makes Boys on the Side that much better because they have the right reaction when she like opens up the window and just has her arm outside the car. Like that song just gets it done. Like driving through the desert at night, that song is always queued up and ready to go.
Totally.
Just a beautiful, beautiful song. And
I feel like I'm confusing the Cranberries with somebody else.
Just amazing.
I mean, I recognize this song, but I feel like there's another group that because
Are you confusing the Cranberries with Whole? Because I do that a lot.
No. It's another fruit or vegetable.
oh no, but a lot of people confuse them with
Gwen
Stefani's band.
No.
Oh, sure, with No Doubt.
With No Doubt.
No,
Not even a little.
But you're also confusing because this song sounds nothing like Linger or Zombie. Like
Well,
this song is so
the
completely...
Linger, the voice is the same.
Yeah.
No,
But I mean,
what was it? I'm not sure. There's
this
another.
song they went straight
There's
pop.
another group from the early '90s, I believe, because isn't the Cranberries from the '90s?
Yeah, but
Sorry.
later.
Right, but
Later.
who's early '90s? Were there something Flower? Was there a girl group Flower something? Wallflower.
Stand by. I just googled girlfriend 90s bands.
Standby. I'm sure she's gonna get there, and I keep thinking that was them. But I'm
There's the Wallflowers, but that's
No,
David
no, no, no.
Dylan. That's
I
totally
got
different.
No
No.
I
Doubts.
love
I got
that.
Bikini Kill. I
No.
got Garbage. Are you thinking of Garbage?
no.
All right.
Garbage was being an easy one to mistake them
Yeah.
for too. They had a very similar sound.
Save Ferris,
Aside from this
Cranberries,
song.
Portishead.
Oh, Save Ferris. I love Save
I'll
Ferris.
have to. I'll work on that. Well, you're telling a story.
The Cardigans, maybe?
No. Oh, well, that's a good. I can see how the alliteration might be there.
Hole, Veruca Salt, Sixpence None the Richer.
No, there was
The
two.
Breeders.
I want to say it was two girls.
What was the Good Charlotte? I sat. Is there a band Good Charlotte? What were
There
they
is a
called?
band.
The
Good
Indigo
Charlotte.
Girls?
Indigo Girls. That is where I was confused.
How the fuck?
No, it's just
did
in
we
name.
get from
Just in name.
Cranberries to
Because
Indigo
Cranberries
Girls?
is another group that I didn't really give a shit about, nor did I ever buy any of their music. Indigo Girls are the same thing, but I heard 8-Track because another band covered it. I'm like, who the fuck are the Indigo Girls?
So not Emily, but the other.
I don't know.
I'm just saying the other
Right.
Indigo Girl. I
Indigo
could
Girls,
see
Flower People.
maybe-
There was some, I don't know,
Maybe
something like
her
that.
voice.
Now here's what I'm gonna do.
One's
I'm gonna
a
Google
sweater.
Indigo Girls versus Cranberries.
Not. The only reason he said two girls, and I thought I'm just gonna go with
Oh
this.
yeah, their music doesn't.
How many girls were in the Indigo Girls?
Two.
Okay, see, there was
That's
two.
That's why I said.
You're
the end.
welcome.
Yeah.
And what
They
does
have
that have to do with a band with a female singer?
Two girls.
No, the Cranberries were a band.
Fuck, I don't know. They got a girl singing. Who
Pretty
cares?
sure there was only one girl in Cranberries.
There's only one girl in the Cranberries. It was a band.
I,
Okay.
I,
She had a
I
big
just
enough
listed
voice for it
10
to be
other
two.
10
This
other
is one of
bands.
those times like you're not doing yourself any favors on that one. So there's that one. So the BAFTA awards.
It's also music I don't care about.
Exactly.
So there's that.
Oh,
hear
the
you.
list of things you don't
Care about. So the BAFTA awards came out, and sometimes a precursor of the Oscars because they have so many similar voters.
And they're funny.
Yes, but now Stephen Fry is not hosting this year.
Oh.
They have a new host. So best film, Call Me By Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, The Shape of Water, Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. The Oscars can go up to 10, but I think these 5 are now etched in stone. Like, I think those 5, you just done.
Read them off one more time.
Call Me By Your Name, The Most Beautiful Movie, and I'm going to start pushing that this week because it becomes easier to see. The Oscar nominations are this coming Tuesday and Friday that will open wide based on Oscar nominations. They're finally going to bring... Because the Call Me By Your Name has still not been in 100 theaters altogether over the country, and it's made millions of dollars showing nowhere because it's the most beautiful movie ever made. Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Shape of Water, Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. And sentimental favorite, I think The Shape of Water is the one that's going to win because everyone loves Guillermo del Toro. This movie is so lovely, so... Like, you just see it and you want to, like, swim with them and you just want to, like... It's fish sex. And it would be a beautiful story for children if it wasn't for, like,
Fish
masturbation and graphic
fish sex.
woman on fish sex. So, Best Director, some surprises here. You get a Blade Runner with Denis Villeneuve, who did Prisoners. He did Sicario. He did, I'm probably saying those all wrong, but he definitely did Arrival, which was my favorite movie of last year and remains my obsession. I will probably watch Arrival with Amy Adams every day for the rest of my life, if allowed, because I just love it. So he gets a nomination for Blade Runner, Call Me By Your Name, Dunkirk, The Shape of Water, and Three Billboards get Best Director ones. The only surprises really coming up here is that Annette Bening gets her foot in the door for a movie that I'm dying to see. It just started playing at Camelview here. It's Film Stars Don't Die in Liverpool. It's her and Jamie Bell from Billy Elliot, and it's about the last years of Gloria Graham, Oscar-winning actress, and her end of life and her relation. This is Gloria Graham.
Okay.
That's a choreographer, right track. Gloria Graham. Was,
I like where you were going with that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're on the right track. Twyla, but inside. Madonna.
Keep it inside.
Madonna, but keep it inside. Maybe try more gum. So it's just exciting that Annette Bening pulls off another beautiful performance, and I think much better than last year's 20th Century Women. So very exciting that she made it in there. And then Best Leading Actor gets Jamie Bell, who the Screen Actors Guild like him a lot, and so does because he famously won for Billy Elliot over Russell Crowe, Daniel Day-Lewis, like some big ass fucking stars. When he was 12 years old, he won Best Actor from BAFTA for Billy Elliot.
Okay.
Still one of the best movies ever made. Everything else is all the usual people. Phantom Thread does a little bit better than other things. And there was something in here that I thought was interesting. But maybe not. No. So then we have to go to the Directors Guild Awards. Now, the Directors Guild, notorious for white men. There's only been, I think, 2 African-American directors over the course of their history that were nominated, and only 6 women that have ever been nominated. And now, in the same year, they've nominated a person of color. Well, minorities abounding. Like, they really have, like, gotten it all together. They didn't go the route of, like, all white guys all the time. Which isn't really fair to Guillermo del Toro because he is a person of color. So, granted, they didn't do well. So this is just my rules. So I didn't go to the right thing there. Let's find out. Now I'm at the dementia thing. That's probably a good thing for me to check out.
All right.
Hold on. Please stand by while I...
Cool story, bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
I have a habit of, like, saying things wrong, like the time that I made that thing about colored people instead of the color purple because of drinking. So let's take a second and get this one right.
All right.
Wow.
Still the rules. Every time you do that, you just get the
Another
rules.
Cranberry song you'd like to feature?
Okay.
Do you have to let it linger?
Jesus Christ.
Do you have to?
Do you have to?
Do you have to let it linger? Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
This is exciting.
DGA, I'm so sorry.
I'm somewhat excited that.
Well, I had it all prepared, but then I realized it was the rules and the calendar for the DGA's award schedule. So.
There. There you go. There's your link.
I'm not mad about it. I like that
All
music.
We're on a road trip somewhere in Southern California.
No, the road trip song is
They're all road trip songs.
Oh, it's Dreams. That song is just put your arm up the window. Okay, so 4 of the Directors Guild of American nominees for Best Director: Guillermo del Toro, The Shape of Water; Greta Gerwig. So there you get someone of color, Greta Gerwig, a woman; Christopher Nolan, white guy, but he deserves to win because Dunkirk was great; and Jordan Peele, of Key and Peele, actually keeps the momentum going for this movie we've been talking about since February, and it being terrific. Just pulled off a Directors Guild Award. That is rarefied air.
Yeah.
To have a girl in her 20s doing a little movie about her life growing up in Sacramento get the nomination, and Jordan Peele for a horror movie with that little 20 minutes of comedy that everyone seems to forget happens. Why is it listed as a comedy? Because for 20 minutes, you just laugh your ass off.
Huh?
You forget that, like, oh, that's right, we're in a horror movie. We got to go back to that at some point.
Oh, we got to go back to being scared.
Yeah, we got to go back to being scared. And then the 5th nominee is not Steven Spielberg. It is Martin McDonough for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Great movie.
Right.
So there we are. I mean, we ended up with a diversified cast in really different movies. You have, Guillermo del Toro for this beautiful movie, The Shape of Water. That, again, perfect for children except for the fish sex and the constant masturbation.
I'm not going to take the children, right?
No. Greta Gerwig, overrated movie, but good for her. Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk. Jordan Peele for Get Out. We've been talking, seriously, I've spent 11 months now on just how solid this movie is.
Yeah.
And it holds up to like 3 or 4 viewings that you're still like, that's just fun. Like, I just enjoyed that. And Mark McDonough for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Probably the vilest language ever used in a film. Like, that F-bomb gets dropped about every 20 seconds.
Wow.
Like, just
so basically it's my 12-year-old right now.
And
Jordan
story. Peele also repeats in the Best First-Time Director category. So Jeremy Gasper gets in for Patty Cakes, which my niece's boyfriend actually worked on as a grip, and he's a big fan of that movie and loved all the performances. As he was working as an electrician on the movie, he was very impressed with the performances. When it came out, he was like, they really captured how good that movie was being made.
Very cool.
Lady Macbeth, Wind River, and Aaron Sorkin for Molly's Game get the new thing. Now, Wind River is Harvey's non-human victim.
Okay.
Wind River is a Harvey Weinstein. Steen.
Sure.
Because the Weinstein is the newscaster from Buffalo, and it's the other one. So I have to say Irv Weinstein, Irv Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein's other victim, because he was so good at the Academy Award nominations, and Wind River is such a good movie. But now that we're in Oscar season and you don't have Harvey like bullying everyone into voting for this movie and really doing the thing that he did best, which was getting awards attention for good movies that normally probably didn't get a lot of attention, Wind River is the victim. And so Wind River, find it. It's out on video now. I think it's on Netflix. It's on Amazon Prime, and it is terrific. It's just a sharp movie about a female law officer who goes to investigate a murder on an Indian reservation, and you find out like the problems with missing women on Indian reservations. You find out like the jurisdiction problems and who can like be accused of a crime. Like all the laws and all the problems we have on the reservations is just horrible.
Don't get excited. It's not on Netflix unless you have the DVD plan.
Oh, and I have the DVD plan, so sometimes there's stuff that I think is on there.
Oh, because Netflix can still send you.
Yeah, you have to pay for them
I didn't
separately now.
realize that.
You have to
Okay.
pay for them separately now.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And it's also on Amazon, but not on Prime. You have to rent it.
Oh, okay. So I'm wrong. So you still have to pay money to see it, but worth every dollar spent.
Fact checking.
And if you have Netflix and you don't have the DVD service, you're missing like a great thing, because the Netflix movie service is shitty.
The streaming, right? The streaming
Their
is
original
somewhat
programming
limited.
is quite good, but their actual movie service is just awful.
Wow.
Because most everything is missing. I'm sorry, if you don't have all of Julia Roberts' movies available, then you're just not doing it right. And Sandy Bullock, I'm gonna need more than one.
Agreed.
And it can't
Fair
be while
point.
you were sleeping.
Your musicals have to be more than Shrek the Musical, and which is delightful. Don't get me wrong. And the last 5 years.
Yeah, we're
gotta have.
we're gonna need
We're gonna
more.
need some more.
And that's why you have to have the DVD part. So the Critics' Choice Awards were on Thursday night, and I've always said it was hosted by Olivia Munn, who I try to tell people she's funny. Like,
She's very funny.
find Olivia Munn in a comedy.
And super hot.
She is super hot and
No.
very good at
Hot
comedy.
and funny.
They let
She's
her
basically me.
Yeah, she's everything. They let her do live comedy, and it was fun to watch her like win and lose. Like she did an award show hosting with some jokes that tanked and some jokes that worked. But God bless her, she was game for the whole 2 hours and was willing to make a total asshole out of herself. Like there's just a lot going on with Olivia Munn. But The Shape of Water was the big winner, which I really think between the Golden Globe and that, I think we're just watching the end of the Oscars race. We're just marching up to The Shape of Water. I think that's going to win everything. But my favorite moment was that once again, Allison Janney won for I, Tonya, which I like. I mean, it's a good time.
I've got to get to that this week.
That
The more interviews I see with her on other shows about the movie, she tells more and more stories about shit. And she was just on Conan, and I don't typically watch Conan, but I was channel surfing, and she was talking about Tonya being at the Golden Globes, and Tonya just walking up to everybody, and people didn't know who the hell she is, and she just walked up and just grabs Oprah's arm and just starts talking to her, and Oprah was like, "Who is it?" And then realized it was Tonya Harding. But like she said, we just take her out and run her around. Like Tonya Harding just is going everywhere. I just thought there's charming stories.
But you have to have the sense of occasion. It's your moment in the sun. Talk to everybody.
Absolutely.
You're seated next to Zac Efron.
When else are you going to get to grab Oprah by the elbow?
Hit that one. Yes.
So
I haven't watched the 2 hour special yet though.
Oh, I watched that last night.
And
it's good.
It was an ABC special on Thursday night.
She kind of admits to everything the movie alludes to.
Okay.
Like, she knew that those guys were up to no good,
right?
But at the same time, you think these two could fuck up a one-car funeral. I'm not going to worry that they're going to accomplish a goal.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm certainly not going to worry about the outcome of them attempting something.
They're not masterminds.
Right, no. Because the one lives in his mom's basement.
Right. But he's
and
trained.
He pretends he's a spy. So you could...
Betty Davis.
Yeah. No, Betty Davis is a big.
That's true.
This guy's asleep.
Yeah.
And one of the big surprises in the best original screenplay category, Jordan Peele wins the Critics' Choice Awards. Like, it's kind of amazing that this first-time director with this horror movie is getting all this recognition. And like the people at Gold Derby, I'm like, we don't have any way to judge how a horror movie does because horror movies and comedies don't get into the Oscars.
Right.
So we have no idea how to judge like the goodwill towards it. Does it translate to votes? But it keeps winning in places and it just keeps being nominated that like clearly it's like second or third on everybody's list.
Okay.
So that's your Surface Pro. That was headlines. So I think, let me go back to the actual list. Oh, terrible horror movies out right. Netflix right now is pushing The Vault with James Franco. They're kind of banking on the goodwill of the Disaster Artist, and they're pushing The Vault. It's awful.
Is that the one that his brother? No.
No, The Vault is kind of a quasi horror movie about a bank robbery and a haunted bank.
Okay.
Stupid. It was stupid. Annabelle Creation, terrible.
Okay.
Terrible movie. Do not waste your money. At the end, I'm like, really? So there's those.
Terrible.
And I think with that we are all done. I think another second of the Cranberries will help us out.
I like Cranberries.
I hope it's not another opioid addiction pain related.
Right.
That would be so sad.
It really would. Like,
dear doctors, stop giving people this shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what song
Go
this
to a
is.
pain clinic.
I've been over here laughing, and I know you guys don't know what I'm laughing at, but I'm going to share with you.
We often don't.
World of Wonder Productions is the production company that puts out RuPaul's Drag Race every year, and I follow them on Facebook, and they put out. Apparently, they're wanting to start what's called the Girther movement. And it just cracks me up that they're now putting out hashtag Girther movement. Nope, fat ass 45 is not 239 pounds.
Let's join that movement. Is there a march?
But my favorite part of this is it's the emojis on the bottom. It's whatever shithole.
That's great. I love it.
I just thought that was so fucking funny.
That's fantastic.
So I don't know if hashtag Girther movement is going to be
immediately to
see. I don't know if that's trending on the Twitter or not.
We're gonna help that.
Going right now.
That was funny. He is not. So that's
fantastic.
that's what I've been laughing about over here.
I'm gonna take this moment to get that started.
Oh, sure.
Or help it along, whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna do write that down.
Oh,
so
it is trending. Hashtag Girther is
Oh, is
trending
it?
on Twitter. Yeah, it's in the top 10.
Oh, no shit. Well,
Yeah,
that's
oh,
good.
yeah.
Well, all right. Well,
Girther movement.
Yes, we're
hashtag-
calling it the Girther movement.
I like it.
He must step on a scale on live TV and let the beauty contestants judge the
Yes.
results.
That's lovely.
great.
That's lovely. I like it. Actually, I want him to go on The Biggest Loser.
Yeah.
No.
Well, too late.
Too late.
Well,
right?
no.
Also, for the record, Donald Trump said he was 74 inches tall in 2012. Now his doctor says he's 75 inches. And that 1 inch makes his BMI overweight, not obese. That's funny. Oh, that's funny.
That is
Added
funny,
an
for
inch
real.
to your height, so you'd be on
Yeah.
a different
Right.
part of the
Absolutely.
chart.
That's fantastic. What a
Oh.
fucking idiot.
Oh, fucking! Speaking of fucking idiots,
Oh.
get this.
Do you need your song?
No, I don't need. I don't. No. This isn't part of that. This is breaking news almost.
Oh, my
Breaking
gosh.
So our, friend of the people, the most honest person in Washington, Sarah Huckabee Sanders,
Oh
Of course
yeah.
she is. Totally.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
has
Huckleberry
has recently said that Donald Trump can't be a racist. In fact, if he was a racist, why did NBC give him The Apprentice?
I read that today
my
on the
God.
online. He had a show for
What?
10 years on NBC. They wouldn't.
Oh my God.
They hired Cosby, too. So I'm coming.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
For real.
I also found out that there is an on-staff makeup artist for her and Kellyanne. Really? Is it Helen Keller?
Yeah.
What the?
Is it a 12-year-old?
Like that's
Right.
with a trained
Right.
professional.
Wow,
Can you imagine? Right.
You know what, you guys? I bet that's what they did with Eric.
Oh,
Oh.
finger paints.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, is
They
he the
just-
makeup artist?
They just probably put him downstairs in the basement.
I would say
and they
Tiffany's
said, You guys
Revenge.
go down there. And Eric's like, I get a play.
Yeah.
I get a paint.
I know who the winner
Yeah,
is.
right?
Oh, my gosh.
Fry some beans. Fry some beans.
Here we go. Kat, we'll just do this. Two things is what she brings. Two things is what she's talking about. Two things, important little things. That is what she's spouting out.
You just need two things.
That means two things.
Let's get two things clear.
And then two things about yourself.
And I've come to share with you one of two things. No, two of two things. We're sharing two things right now.
There are only two things I can't stand in this world.
Quick, grab two things you love.
It can be two things.
Only two things in the world I'm scared of.
Rise of frazzled two things.
Remember two things.
I believe in two things.
Guys are only after two things.
What's better, doing two things at once or just one?
Never half-ass two things. Whole-ass one thing.
Or Kat Carlson.
Yeah.
Oh, I shot my pistachio at you.
Oh, well.
My gosh.
Literally.
I'm still gonna eat it.
Shocked and appalled. Yeah, please don't waste the pistachio.
No.
So, as of late, I have been half-assing my two things. We've gone ahead and whole-assed it this week. You're welcome.
Just went ahead and did
Thank
that.
you.
Here I have for you two things that I really believe just kind of illustrate our country right now. Just really. So the first thing is the cartographers after our own hearts. There is currently a movement to create a state called New California. It's going to fit right next to further South Dakota.
Oh, my gosh. That'd be great.
It's going to be
Meow
lovely.
Cal? Where's Meow Cal?
Right, Meow Cal, are you
Our
aware of
cartologist,
this?
yeah.
Yep.
Have you started drawing the map yet?
Yep, we need that done.
In any
Please.
event, two men frustrated with what they call an ungovernable California have launched a new campaign to divide the rural areas of the state from its coastal cities, where all of the people live, of course.
Right.
Founders of the, quote, New California movement, Robert Paul Preston and Tom Reed, write on their campaign website that California is a, quote, failed state, and that citizens of California are living under a tyrannical form of government that does not follow the California and U.S. constitutions.
Okay.
I think they're really mad at all of the success that California's
Exactly
been
what I
having.
was going to say. Yeah.
Nothing like a good economy to make you feel like you're living under a tyrant.
Sure.
The campaign cites the high taxes and a decline in housing, healthcare, prisons, state parks, education, and business climate, among other things, in both the high density and rural areas as reasons for a division. He says there's something wrong when you have a rural county, such as this one. I don't know which one he's standing in.
One.
And then you go down to Orange County, which is mostly urban, and it has the same set of problems. And it happens because of how the state is being governed and taxed.
Okay.
I'm not sure that I understand most of that sentence.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're getting at. If everybody's got the same problem, shouldn't it have the same solution?
Yeah.
Weird. I don't really know. Unlike other similar campaigns, this is not a secession. Rather, proponents of New California want to create a brand new economy with a new constitution under Article 4, Section 3 of the United States Constitution. The section,
Sounds like a secession, though.
which is related to statehood, dictates that no new state within an existing one already in the Union may be created, quote, without the consent of the legislatures of the states concerned as well as of the Congress. So if your state legislature really decides that, you know what, this part is really like its own state and deserves its own government for whatever reason, that's a thing you can do. Right? That's in there. So if, for example, the state of Arizona just decided that Phoenix was not anything like all of the rest of the state and should be...
That's how we got West Virginia,
Right.
literally.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing that you can do. And you have to go through the legislature, and then it has to be approved by Congress.
Because West Virginia wanted to be a free state, not a slave state, so they broke off from Virginia.
Okay.
And created 2 states.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what their reasoning is.
No, but they were ungovernable. They felt disenfranchised, ungoverned. I know. Meow Cow's like, fuck these guys. His new job. He just went into retirement as a cartographer.
You're
and
back.
then New California
Back at
came
it,
back.
man.
Okay.
Yep, the New California campaign most resembles the Six Californias initiative, which aims to divide California into 6 regional states, which seems excessive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're just going to have, Hicks and city folk,
Right.
2 is fine.
Yeah.
But wasn't that a thing that they wanted to do quite a while ago because of, those fucking liberals?
They wanted North and South
California. It seems
California.
like a really long time ago. No, they actually wanted 6 Californias.
2012?
2016.
that's right.
It seems like a really long. It seems like a lifetime
We've
ago.
been through a lot since then.
Many things have happened.
Yes.
But yeah, they tried to get that as a ballot initiative because I don't know if everybody knows, but like voting in California is a day-long process because of all the initiatives.
Okay.
Like there are so many ballot initiatives and ballot issues.
But I bet everybody can. But maybe everybody can go vote.
Yeah, they have one of the easiest.
Oh, sure.
That's what I mean. Like other states, like maybe I don't know, Alabama, like where only white people can go.
Where voter suppression is
Right.
much bigger problem. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about that, but I know that the ballot is long. In any event, in summary,
we surprisingly have a very liberal voting rules. We have mail-ins. We have just show up and vote anytime in the 3. Ours is very easy.
However, our legislature keeps
chipping away up.
nicking at the corners of that by making it harder to put ballot initiatives, by making it harder to referendums, which are similar to ballot initiatives, but it's opposing legislation. So when the legislature does something and the people are like, fuck you guys, and it goes on the ballot, that's a referendum. An initiative
and that's kind of a fair thing to do, to be like, we want it to all come from the government, not from the people.
That's really unique to Arizona. I don't know that it's the only state, but it's one of few states that can actually put an issue that the legislature voted on the ballot and override them.
Yeah,
like that's a really unique thing to Arizona.
And a closed primary is not like, people were all offended last year about closed primaries, but that's up to your party,
right?
Like that's a choice of the Republican Party to be like, let's keep that closed and let's keep the people from fucking with our primary.
Right. I mean, if I'm emperor, we're gonna change elections to kind of like France does. Like you have a big pool and then like the top 4 go, kind of like playoffs in sport, right?
Yeah.
You get this many people, and whoever gets the top section of votes, then you go on to another level.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's all good.
In any event, the people that wrote this particular article think that the New California has little chance of succeeding, comparable to other campaigns to alter the makeup of California, but they are nevertheless pushing forward and organizing meetings around the cause. And on Monday, the group released their Declaration of Independence, calling for a free and independent state with full power to establish and maintain law and order to promote general prosperity.
And
They're
then they're
very
going to find out
enthusiastic.
about trade with Old California because Old California controls all the ports.
Right.
So that's terrific that you're farming and terrific that you're rural, but you know what you need to do? You need to ship those somewhere. So all of a sudden now you want to cause tariffs, state by state taxes, and find out how much it costs to ship across the state line that you just invented
Right.
from a state that used to be your partner, but the partner likes gay marriage. And that's what's pissing you off.
Yep.
So you want to introduce like all kinds of regulations on trade and all kinds of interstate tariffs because
you're
Mama
just-
made a
you're
sanctuary
just
city.
being
You're just
hateful.
being a hateful dick.
Right.
Right.
But they're gonna find out, and it's the North versus South thing. Like the South thought they could win everything because they had they had farmers and they were in charge of their own economy. Till someone was like, "Yeah, now someone's got to build warships." Like you know what you don't have? You don't have industry because
Right.
you just grow shit.
Now.
And
you
so what
need
do?
us.
They starve them out.
Yeah.
It's a simple way to win. Okay, be a dick.
Okay.
You can grow all the crops you want. If you have no one to sell them to, then how you making money, sweetheart?
Not sure.
You can't get to that at the farmer's market. Where are you going?
How is it sitting on all that cotton there? Friend?
Yeah, how does that feel?
Make a
It's
shawl.
And it's one of those really shitty, like, oh yeah, we like being farmers and denying people rights, but you know what we need? We need those big city folk every now and then.
Right. Yeah.
And the big
Well,
city
and-
folk need the farmers because they live in food desert. So if someone doesn't show up in a Amish wagon to sell shit,
Right.
you know, life is full of pluses and minuses.
Exactly. And
You
now
take the good, you take the bad.
my poor baby has gone
Take
to
'em
take a
all.
nap, so I'm not sure if
Oh,
it's coming
fattily.
back. So. There it is.
And your second thing about the
My
deliciousness
second
of
thing-
pistachios?
It could be. It really could be. It could be about the sad and slow death that I'm watching in the poor Microsoft Surface because it's currently
Because you keep touching it?
DED. Well, I keep touching it, but no. Now it is gone to sleep, and I'm not sure what it's gonna do. Oh my. So.
Be sure to tune in next week for a very special episode
Yeah.
of the show with Clay McKee.
So my second thing was a very funny article about a new app that has just hit the market.
Oh.
Yep. It's the Legal Consent app.
Oh boy.
Yep, that's right. You're getting
Very
ready to hook up.
necessary.
Very necessary. You're getting ready to hook up.
Oh,
This is a
wow.
real thing.
I'm going to need you to touch here before you touch there.
Right.
Nope, not kidding. Yeah. Would you use the Yes to Sex app? It's controversial software that creates legally binding contracts for consensual sex before one-night stands. And you go through this thing, and it's got little checkboxes for your like agreement settings. So, do you agree to photo and video? Check. Okay, good. Do you agree to condoms? Check. Okay, good. Do you agree to explicit language? Oh, nope, that's not in the contract. Do you agree to
You can videotape me doing
maybe
anything but
bondage?
swearing. That's right, draw the line.
Don't you
Oh,
fucking
that's
cuss
great.
at me.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen,
Son
no,
of a bitch.
You scream bitch at me during
Yeah.
That's right. We're done.
I'm done.
and I'm
We're
out.
done.
And I'm out.
I did not consent
That's
to that.
exactly true. Here, no, Clayton, look at this. Take that picture.
Oh, stand by.
Take it.
Stay
Or maybe
cut.
it's not coming. There it is.
Oh, wait. I got it. Hang
Very
on.
busy. Very busy.
I got to get on this to do this.
Because this is the wrong article, and my Surface is still not alive. Oh, it's stuck. It's stuck.
So's this
Oh.
pistachio.
In any event, this comes to us from our friends,
Okay,
our
wait,
Dutch friends.
Is this? Look at. Okay.
Look at that. Look at this.
Oh my
Live
God.
contract overview.
It's fantastic.
Go through the app, agree on your terms. Can you imagine?
It's fantastic.
Can you?
And these days, though, I think you got to do like on Big Bang Theory, where Sheldon and Amy have
They,
that.
like, go- they go
it's a
down the-
It's a
the
litigious society. I'm gonna need you to sign this consent waiver.
All right.
good.
Well, apparently I half-assed it after all.
Fling settings. Fling settings. I think that's funny.
BDSM. Yeah, I'm a no to that too.
Yeah.
That's
love
fantastic,
shouldn't
though.
hurt.
Yeah, the only thing that should hurt is your
shouldn't
feelings when I'm done
hurt.
insulting you.
Right.
If I can't swear at you, I am not going to be in the BDSM.
How dirty is this
Come
gonna
on.
be if I
Right.
Am I
I'm-
going to need a squeegee? Is there a Clorox cleanup somewhere coming?
Oh, I wonder if there's a cleanup clause in there too. Like, I don't really know.
Who gets it? You have to sleep on the wet spot.
Is there a deposit you have to pay? I'm sorry. I'm going to need you to bring your own sheets and
I
leave
know.
with them.
That's why you always get the room with the 2 queen beds instead
Oh,
of the
yeah.
1 king.
Oh, that's some smart
I didn't think
lodging.
other people knew that secret but me.
Smart
There's
lodging.
the
on-
sex bed, and then there's the
And then there's the
sleep
nobody has
bed.
to sleep in the wet spot bed. Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Nobody wants
and
that.
now it's cold.
No. Gross.
It's kind of hot when it was warm, but
Yep.
now
We're gonna cut our losses. That's the end of 2 things right there.
I'm thinking we just cut our losses all together.
So as a tail end of that,
No.
there is the Aziz Ansari story about, I think it was in, I can't remember the name of the magazine that published the 30,000 word essay by the woman who feels abused.
Okay.
I'm really like adding a lot of grandeur to that. I mean, one of her complaints is that they had red wine instead of white, like that she didn't consent to the white wine.
Wait, so she went on a date and is complaining?
Went
Is
on
that-
a date with him. He paid the bill too fast. She did not like how quickly he paid the bill. She had issues with that. Then they went back to his apartment. They got naked.
Like
And
you do.
she thought
Too fast?
Too fast.
Okay.
And she thought
she
he
likes a
missed-
man with a slow hand.
Even though she said
An
yes
easy
and
touch.
consented, she did not think that he was understanding her nonverbal clues, that she wasn't offering repeated and it's not repeated, but enthusiastic and continual consent. And at some point before they went too far, she said, "I'm not into it," and he said, "Well, why don't we like put our clothes on and hang out with our clothings on?"
Our
And-
clothing's on.
What a nice guy.
And that's how he ended it. So and so now she's saying without any sex, but she got naked on her own, that he wasn't understanding her rules of consent, even though she said yes and he stopped before they did anything and changed it. And the next day he sent a note saying, "Had a nice time last night," and she was like, "I can't believe you didn't understand what a bad time I was having." And he was like, "Oh, I didn't know till you said something," and then we stopped. So I'm not sure what else someone can do besides find out somebody's not into what you're doing and stop.
Right.
Like where is the line now? If someone realizing while you're naked you said no, he stopped, where's the bad guy in that story?
There really isn't one.
Right.
That's
And I think this person is kind of setting back the movement a little bit when she's bitching about having drank red wine when she wanted white. Like that was non-consensual.
She's just
kind
a
of takes
bitch.
some of
That's
your
that's one of those things like you gotta speak up and say, "I don't like this. I don't want to go to your apartment. I really don't want to be naked. I'm not liking this. Can we stop?" And then when she said that out loud, he stopped, and they put their clothes back on.
ta-da! That's how that's supposed to work.
So, unfortunately, I think she's setting the movement back a little bit, and he comes out as like, "I'm not a mind reader."
Right.
Where
What valid?
what you after?
It is.
No.
I would agree.
So
I don't know.
we're reaching a point of like,
Too much.
yeah,
Uh,
not everyone's a bad guy.
Right.
He didn't grope you.
In fact, most aren't.
Right.
Yeah, true.
He didn't grope you.
Just like the same thing with cops. Like, yeah, there's some bad apples.
The
Not
story
all.
didn't end with him masturbating in front of her.
Right.
He
And
put his
barring her
clothes
from
back
ever being
on.
in movies again.
Right, again. Like, there was no loss to her career or
Right.
livelihood.
Sure.
She went on a bad fucking date. We all have.
Oh yeah. I don't know
Reached
that I
across-
like the
We
cop
might be on
analogy.
one
Like,
now.
Cops have like a weird culture. I don't know that I like the cop analogy.
What's
I
the
don't
cop
have anything.
analogy?
No,
Well, no, I
because
just
we
said,
said
like-
like most guys are actually good guys. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
But
not
my
every
analogy
guy's
is
a bad guy.
most cops are good cops. There's just a few
yeah,
out there who've making
there's
some
a
really
culture in
bad.
that needs to be fixed. There's
Yeah.
there's a tough guy culture that needs to be fixed.
There's
in
that-
cops
there's that
that's
thin-
making more bad guy cops
The
than there
thin
needs
blue
to be.
line.
Yeah.
That they stand up for each other when they should be like, you know what?
That's
in
not
my
okay,
name.
right?
Yeah.
That's not okay over there.
It's the same with religion, that there's those days of like someone should stand up and say, "Not in my name." You're not
Right.
going to hide behind the badge with that. And that's the problem with 3 billboards outside of blah 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 Missouri.
Ebbing.
Is the racist with the heart of gold doesn't play right.
Right.
And it kind of sticks with you. Like an hour after the movie, you're like, nope, he shouldn't be still in the force. Like, nope, he was allowed to stay on the force. There's a flaw in this movie that someone, or it's on purpose.
And could be.
But no, you're not.
But you're not liking it, right?
No, after doing something truly racist and evil, you don't get a shot to redeem yourself because a white girl got hurt. Like, it just doesn't sit right. And it's like, you shouldn't be a cop.
Yeah.
and a letter from the police chief saying, I know there's more inside of you than what people see. Nope, that's just enabling a racist. You just turned a blind eye to someone who did something outwardly awful. So.
Right.
A Twitter account that I follow that Daniel Ray Bootsy, who has been on our show many times with us, Rogue White House Senior Advisor. If you are on
I
Twitter,
enjoy that.
follow him. This is what Daniel just tagged. I missed this earlier in the day, but this is pretty funny. Trump changing most of the information on yesterday's medical report. He wants weight changed to 199, but staff asked him to be realistic. There is a lot of stuff. This Rogue White House Senior Advisor on the Twitter comes out with a lot of stuff all throughout the day, and I don't know who the hell this is, but they're coming out with all kinds of stuff, like literally cataloging the chaos that's happening live in the White House as shit happens. Like, everybody scattering, avoiding Trump after, like something will happen, everybody scatters. All of a sudden everybody's busy, nobody has time to talk to him, or all these different things that happen. It's kind of funny, but wow. So we wanted everything changed. That would be.
Well, he got taller.
Got taller. Got
Good on him.
Thinner. Yeah. So let's get again. I agree. There needs to be some sort of a thing where he has to stand on a scale somewhere and be.
Well, the emperor has no clothes anyway, so.
Okay, if he's got, he better.
I
have clothes
enjoy
on.
the girther movement, though. I'm gonna follow that for a while.
Yeah.
See what happens with that one.
Because he was the leader of the birther movement. You get it right. You get it.
Thank you.
So, and this so I mean, I think this is a good thoughtful vulgarity to finish with.
Let's,
if I may, segue from what Anant is saying in the room.
do.
That Anant comments, nowadays, sometimes I feel I have committed a crime by being a male. And, I mean, I typed in my response, but I guess we'll go back to it. Thoughts on that?
Repeat the question again. I'm sorry. I was.
No, just Anant comments that with all that we've been talking about Aziz Ansari and other people like J.K. Simmons just coming out and saying, I've treated women badly. It's coming towards me, so I'm just gonna stand up right now and say, yep. When the people come forward, no one accused
J.K.
No, not. I said the wrong name.
Okay.
C.K. What's his name?
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. Whoever I said, I'm sorry.
J.K. Summers, who you said.
Not him, but I meant Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. I thought
Louis
people
C.K.
did.
But he stood up first. Yes, they have come out and agreed with him.
Okay.
But he stood up unaccused and said, yep, so did Alec Baldwin. When this comes down, yep, I own it. And Alec Baldwin was another one, smart enough to say, probably treated women badly. Like, yep. And got in front of it. And Louis C.K. lost all the same things that everyone else did. You know, his series was canceled. He lost the things, but he said it first. Does it make him bad or not bad? Is there a difference between rape and patting someone on the ass? Of course there is.
Absolutely.
But are you still a dick? Yep.
No.
So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that about someone like a man telling you that sometimes they feel like they've committed a crime just for being male?
Well, what Anant has in there, as far as sometimes feminism goes too far, I don't disagree with that. I think that we as people send false cues or bad cues. If you hold the door for me, fuck you. I can hold the goddamn door myself.
But if you don't,
you dumb son of a bitch, you piece of shit. Why wouldn't you hold the door for me? You're rude and whatever.
Right.
Chivalry is dead. And suddenly we pull that, and say that. Well, I thought I wasn't supposed to be chivalrous because you're a feminist, and I'm not supposed to.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Right.
Either
and
just
don't
let me
talk about my cake like that.
And just either let me be nice and hold the door for you like I would for anybody else.
Right.
But there's very, very, very few people who would object to anyone holding a door open for them. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's few and far between.
Well, and I'm not trying to belittle the idea of any kind of sexually inappropriate or go directly to rape or patting on the ass, the sexually inappropriate kind of touch. I'm not trying to belittle any of that by comparing it to opening a door.
Right.
Sorry. I'm on call as well, so I had to make sure.
Well, it's payroll.
But yeah, I can believe that for the good guys, it would be really difficult to sometimes feel like you've committed a crime by being a male. For the good guys. Yep, that's it.
But is it like the alternative to feel like you should expect to be touched because you're a woman? Like, is this now the comeuppance for a lifetime of, yeah, you should deserve to be treated like shit. You're a woman. Like, you should, no.
No, if I'm understanding you right, why would anyone have to feel that way? Am I just in a blank place right now? I'm not sure. But.
No, but I mean, but why should a woman go into a workplace constantly feeling like, well, someone's gonna touch your ass, someone's gonna do this, because you're a woman. Like, this is what you should expect at the workplace. Like, Jimmy over there is just a good old guy. He's just Bubba. He might pat your ass or touch your tit or, call you sweetie or tootsie or honey.
I don't know that would ever be.
Right, but I'm saying, but we've been making excuses for it for so many years. Like, is it now time to, like, everybody's got to be kind of punished for what we've let go on?
And or you just start as much as possible from a just not allowed anymore. So maybe this happened yesterday with Jimmy patting you on the ass, but we're saying now, no.
Right.
And if Jimmy does pat you on the ass, all those other times, we can't do anything about that, and I apologize.
Yeah.
We didn't necessarily see it, it wasn't reported, or suddenly it was just all reported, like just right now.
Or you've been turning a blind eye to it.
Or you've been turning a blind eye to it, but now we're saying, as a company, as a whatever, this is what will happen from now on, and these are the ramifications of that happening. And then, but you can't go back. It's just like with my company. If you feel harassed, say something right then.
Yeah.
I can't do something 6 months from now because you thought you'd work it out or it would be okay.
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Cat Carlson?
I don't know.
Club Cat?
I have a hard time, like, sympathizing with the poor picked on man.
Right.
Because of, oh gosh, we can't harass women anymore, and now we feel like bad guys, and even good guys. You know what I mean? Like, not every man's a woman harasser, but I have such a hard time, like, feeling sorry for all of these people that have benefited from hundreds of years of various types of oppression. You know what I mean? Like, you are the living benefit, and it's not your fault.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
but you're enjoying the...
It's not your fault that your opinion is going to be more respected than mine just because you're a man. You know what I mean? Like, we could make the exact same point in a lot of scenarios, and because you said it, people would believe it, and because I said it, people would go, well, let's check on that. Right. You know what I mean? Like, these are things that literally happen. Literally. And these are the subtle, quiet things that... people that are so angry about their white privilege or about their male privilege and, oh my God, I can't do anything because I'm a white guy and what's a white guy to do? Well, honey, what have you done to help?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Like, are you aware of these things that happen? Do you understand that, you know what I mean? Like, women are being overlooked all around you and that you're benefiting from that? Like, I'm not begrudging anybody their success. I'm not begrudging anybody their, accomplishment and their expertise in any way, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to tear you down.
But at some point you have to acknowledge
that. But I'm
that,
telling you, right, I'm standing next to you saying to you, well, you better say it because then they're going to listen. Like, you know what I mean? What are you doing to help the situation? And so for all the guys that feel like they're so painted into a corner, do some good. Like, fucking help.
And if painted into the corner means good behavior, that's not a bad corner to be in. If we've painted you into a corner of, like, you have to treat people like people and you can't be a dick.
Yeah.
Good place to be painted, because that's where, like, a lot of the world lives, in that corner.
Sure.
Like, maybe I shouldn't say that out loud. Maybe I shouldn't touch that.
Right. Maybe let's just try a whole different vibe here, and let's actually act the way that we think we're being forced to be act. You know what I mean? Being forced to act, and maybe it's going to work out in your favor.
Right.
So that's where I'm at. Sorry.
No,
there's no need to apologize.
No.
No, because if I ask you to apologize, then I'm an asshole.
You're Clayton McKee.
I think that's how this conversation is
The
going.
list of ways that you're an asshole.
Oh, there's-
Just nodding, yeah.
Okay, what appliance do you want on your side of the studio?
Like a
bidet.
See, the guy asked for
bidet
it.
over there,
The
right?
refrigerator
Ow.
shows up, yeah.
She said she wanted a bar earlier.
Yeah, I know.
You weren't listening to her. But
Now
you're
it's a
now.
wet bar.
I feel like we have to move the whole goddamn show to a bar just so that everything's there. And
I mean, we're kind of there now. But
yeah, bar adjacent. I am very happy that I do not have to work in any corporate environment that I used to work in. Like I said, I left corporate in '99 is when I got out of the big corporate world, and it was even touch and go then. I think I've told the story before on here about how we got an HR director who was former military, and she came in and she wanted to make her name known. And when she didn't like the fact that I was gay and everybody loved me in the office, like in the whole company. Mm-hmm. So she kind of had a vendetta against me, singling me out. And then she thought she had her in because she found out that there was like jokes passed around the whole office that she thought it was my whole deal. And then so she came after me and then found out, well, if I shoot him, the whole goddamn ship's going down. So she wound up losing the battle because everybody was as complicit as I was at passing jokes, so she couldn't do it. Point being made, it was a corporate environment that became hostile real quick because she was trying to single me out. Now, I'm not saying that these women or men or whatever are trying to single anybody out, but it just, the corporate environment right now, I know how ugly it was then and how much I didn't like it then. Right. 20 years later, I sure as hell tell you it's going to be worse. I cannot imagine having to go every day into an environment where if I accidentally wink at somebody because I legitimately have something in my eye, is there going to be a lawsuit? If I offer somebody a Kleenex, if I hold a door, if my hand actually grazes somebody as we pass in the hallway,
that's the time to worry. It's not it's not the holding the door or hands me a tissue. Right. It's when it's overtly sexual that you have to be like, and we're so guilty of it in the gay community. Like the gay community is the next one that's gonna fall like a house of cards.
Oh my god!
Because the
honey, sweetie, darling.
Well, not just that, but like the grabbing is so the grabbing and the sexual objectification of people that work at bars is so guilty as charged.
Oh sure.
Victim of it, perpetrator of it.
I was gonna say I've got actually a problem situation that I'm like kind of chewing on right now. With like a regular customer, he's in the industry, comes in all the time, whatever. And I can't figure out why, but literally every sentence out of this man's mouth is something about either his penis or my vagina. And I'm like to the end of it, like everything's pussy this and dick that. Sure. And I'm like,
well, this is a good post-show conversation. I need to know more about this.
But you don't.
And I'm just like, okay, like tell me dirty jokes. Like I'm not the militant feminist.
And you're not being a prude about it either.
Right.
There's
I'm
just
not.
I mean,
I'm not militant about it.
Yeah.
Point of order.
But, yeah.
You're a girl.
True story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally.
Like Gaga says, I was born this way.
Exactly.
But like it's for me to the point where it's like unnecessary and uncomfortable, and I'm gonna have to do something about it because unfortunately for me, none of the men that I work with that also hear this are gonna do anything about it, and that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, my God, help us.
Well, aren't you one of the guys? I mean, I'm not defending it at all. I'm just saying. You think the mentality of the rest of your staff is because of how well you work with everybody, you're just one of the boys.
No.
And do they do?
And that makes it worse.
And I'm going to answer that one for you. That is men deafness. Like now, when I tell you, like, start watching how people talk to the bartender at Charlie's or Stacy's. Like, start to watch that, and how many times somebody offers to blow them, to suck their dick, to touch their ass, to like. I mean, you show up in your underwear, you're going to get some kind of. You have to expect something back.
Yep.
But there are things said by all of us, and there's not an innocent party with a penis anywhere that I know that someone doesn't hit on the waiter or make some dirty joke or make some, and you're like, that's still a person doing his job. And it took me a long time to see it, and it's been part of this conversation to be like, oh, I do it too. Like, I'm always like, oh, I'd like to suck his, you know what I mean? Like, and you're like, he can hear you. He's at work.
You're objectifying him.
Yeah, it's just got uncomfortable. I don't know how he feels about what I just said. I think it's funny because we're at a gay bar. We can do anything. It's where he went to work.
But is it the same if you go to a strip club?
Right, again, and you don't, and again, that's why I don't like, I've never been comfortable with strippers. I'm not comfortable around strippers. I don't understand what you're supposed to say or do because I know the line is there.
Yeah.
But my
Apparently
point
there's
to
a
that
prime
was,
rib dinner for $12 you're supposed to have at lunch.
But
I
my
don't
point
like
to
prime
that
rib.
is the male deafness. You don't hear it, you don't see it, because you go right to, and I set it up there, you go right to the good old boys, the boys will be boys, the locker room talk, he's just kidding, he doesn't mean anything about it, his hand is up my ass. He meant something by it because I've got this guy acting like I'm a puppet
what do you
show.
expect? You're in a gay bar and
and it's just this deafness to any kind of like this is a place of work. Like,
and I know
it's still
partly
a
for my
business.
situation, like I'm enough of a bitch. Like the boys that I work with know that I'm gonna handle shit eventually. You know what I mean? Like when I get sick of something, I'm gonna deal with it.
Yeah.
Sure. But gosh, wouldn't it be nice on
if someone wasn't tone deaf?
If somebody just looked at this guy and said, you know what? Don't fucking talk to her like that. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
I feel that's our job now, as Ananta's saying, like, I think that's our job now as men, is we have to be the ones, again, and we've said it about cops, we say it about religious people, not in my name. Like, no.
You want to be a good guy, be a good guy.
You're not gonna do that shit under the guise of, oh, it's just guys, no one's offended. We don't know that.
Right.
That the perception is reality. We don't know their reality. We don't know how they're perceiving it.
Right.
I don't want to go to an underwear bar, an underwear night ever again in my life. Like that's not. There's nothing.
And that's sometimes that's some people's cup of
down.
tea.
Yeah.
And like I said, come tell me a dirty joke. Absolutely. Come flirt with me and not mean it. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Harmless prattle is not like just aggressive. And what I'm talking about that goes on in the gay bars is aggressively sexual.
It's anything. That
And
makes
it's
you
weird when it comes at me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really weird for me when it comes at me.
From guys.
From
like,
guys.
Then you're just like, what
and
are we
especially
doing?
when it's aggressive. Like, I can tell as many dick jokes as you do.
But now, and I offer this to you,
there's
Clayton,
a
like now
line
you
that
have to
you
now
will have.
listen for it, and you'll be shocked how often you hear it, or you're like part of a conversation. You're like, I don't want the person that's helping our table have brunch think that we think what was just said was okay. And we've all been at that brunch where it's a cute waiter, it's a cute guy, and we've all just made awful jokes that are clearly audible. No one's whispering. Everyone's talking about it. That's just like, I just wanted to like wait tables today. And maybe you're cute and maybe you'll get a flirt back, but most of the time you're going to get like, they're gross.
Right.
But you have to start listening to it. And one of the things was like strippers, underwear bars, like anywhere where like we're just in an awkward situation. You're a nice looking guy, you're in your underwear, but you're at work.
Right.
Why are you working in your underwear? Why is this like Hooters? Why are you in that shirt? What does the chicken wings have to do with your tits? Why do these two things have to be put together? Why do I need someone taking a shower on stage to enjoy my cocktail? Like I can't make that I can't make that work in my mind.
Right.
Not that I'm a better person for it, because I'm one of the people that's like, Tim Schwer, is that his name?
Tim Shore, yeah.
At Charlie's. Like, just made my mind explode. He was so hot in those fucking underwear. But eventually I had to be like, okay, this is uncomfortable for both of us. Like, I'm coming in here just to stare at you and, like, make jokes about your ass. Like, you came to work. Like, you're going to get the same tip from me whether you were in your clothes or in your underwear. Like, this is just degrading for both of us. And now you've lowered all of us to this stage of, like, are you a sex worker? Or you're just making a drink. Put your clothes back on. Put your shirt back on.
Yeah, but it's not just. Wait a minute.
I'm very uncomfortable with it.
No, that's you. But you realize it's the bar. The bar said, we're going to do this night. Do you want to work that night? They're like, yes, we want to work the night, and we want to make tips off of people who are going to come and just ogle us.
Not every bar they have the option, though.
Not every bar they have the option.
No, you do from the standpoint of you can quit.
Yep.
If you're uncomfortable with it, you don't. And there are boys that don't. They don't have the body, and they don't.
And you don't have the body, but you can still make a drink. We're just in this ick. It's just an ick factor that we have to own as gay men too. Like there's just an ick factor to saying you're not hot enough to serve drinks on a Monday night. Like that's just, I just want to drink. Like if I want to go see naked
clearly
guys,
you don't go there.
I could go on So that's what I'm saying. But you're putting people in a situation where like the contempt. It's that Hooters thing. It's just from a gay point of view. You're in that thing of what do your tits have to do with chicken wings? No one has to work there, but it's good money. But do you have to go get breast implants to work there? Is it saying that only people that have like these tits can sell wings?
Sure.
It's just such an ick play. It just, and it really was a day like sitting there drinking at Charlie's on a Monday that I'm like, this is so gross. Like, this is so not why I wanted to drink, go out, leave my house. I'm treating someone who I kind of think is a very nice person, like meat. Like, I just, like, and it was that thing of like, I've become a dirty old man for no reason based on this bar's drink special.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing special about the drink. That guy's in his underwear, and now I don't want to see that. Like, it's just, but it's one of those things of just.
Well, but I mean, you talked yourself kind of sideways of my point though. Like, the sexually inviting like theme nights and theme restaurants are very different from witnessing inappropriate behavior and deciding to say something or not say something.
Right, but now
You know
can
what
the
I mean?
guy in the underwear that gets patted on his ass and gets harassed sexually, can he say anything when he showed up in his underwear, or does his point become? So that's what I'm saying. Like, does his point become moot because he showed up in underwear and someone grabbed his great ass, or just went straight for the? And I've seen it so many times where someone just grabs someone by the junk, and like, what?
So weird.
What are you like? That's what are you doing? But can you just say, well, you showed up in your underwear? Like
that, I don't know.
Right, but that's the deafness. That's the deafness that I'm talking about. Like, when you watch it, the person that says, the guy just grabbed me by the dick, and you're like, well, you showed up in your underwear. That's what you get. You could have said you didn't want to work tonight. No, I can't. And it's that male deafness that everybody's guilty of it. Every guy I know is guilty of it, doesn't know that they've done it in public, and it's just time to like,
and
now you've been painted into the bad behavior corner of like, can I do that at a restaurant? Like, is that allowed? Like, just because it's a gay restaurant? And so I always say invite women to bars and restaurants. If you ever go to a bar that doesn't allow women, you know what's going to happen? Shitty behavior. Gross, shitty behavior, because people act a little bit better around them. Not better to them, but they raise their politeness game.
Yeah. No, any single gender environment is
ugly.
Awful and toxic.
Yep.
In my opinion.
Well, on that, we're going to agree to disagree, and we're going to end this show. Because I've been looking for a place for just boys because I get so fucking tired of those goddamn bossy women coming in acting like it's their bar.
Oh,
and they can do whatever they
no
want.
one wants to be at a bachelorette
So
party.
I'm tired.
Nobody wants to be at a bachelorette
No one wants
party.
them.
No one.
Oh, except people at the Rock and Barber Seville, because they actively promote it and go to the bridal fair and actively solicit them.
So you know what I have a customer choice not to do?
Go there.
I will never go to the Rock. Knowing that that's what they want, I'm not your target audience.
There's that.
And that's nothing against them. It's that just not for you.
It's not for me.
It's not for you. And those other.
And I don't want to watch them be gross women and act out
And
on
if
strippers.
you
and
feel
drag
that
queens.
this show is not for you, tell an enemy. We'll enjoy having them. But until then, we will see you next Tuesday. Oh, God.